Hello and welcome back to SNHU Esports, live from the Connection Esports Arena. My name is Sho. You can call me Shane. I'm joined here with Joe. We're here for some League of Legends tonight.
Yes, I am so excited. We're going to be watching White this game, I believe, and I'm very excited. I'm so glad to be back for break and to actually be watching League.
Me too. It might be a great, beautiful day outside right now, which means it's a great day to sit inside and play League of Legends.
Exactly.
Enjoy the weather from the window. Don't go any further than that.
Open the window, and just like let all the fumes out, from playing League of Legends. I think I'm very excited.
All right, let's go ahead and hop into draft and see. It's going to be SNHU White versus Post Eagles tonight. And as we get started off with our draft, we're seeing first ban come out from the Eagles, looking to be Vigar.
I think that's pretty good. We've seen Vigar be generally a good character through Toxic in the couple last matches, and generally I think Vigar is very good. It can also be flexed into ADC as well, depending on the AP ratios of the team. And banning out a Aurelion Sol, I think that's also a good ban from SNHU.
Aurelion Sol did just get adjusted in the last patch that came out yesterday, so he is a little bit weaker, but he's definitely been a really strong pick in the last few weeks. So not too surprising to see that ban come out as well. Just as a general ban, not really targeting too heavy. The Rammus, I think, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Rammus is in a good spot right now.
I think Rammus is definitely good. I'd still be worried about Jarvan, though. I know a lot of people saying like Jarvan's dead and all, but I'm still a bit scared of that character. But yeah, I think Rammus is a great ban. The single target prio that Rammus has is just too powerful.
Yeah, it's definitely something you got to be worried about here. And SNHU White already to send their second ban back. It's looking to be Nocturne. That is an interest. Yeah, I agree.
We've seen Nocturne get played a lot more generally. I'm not sure if they got any really hard buffs. I think it's just the meta is slowly changing as people realize what's good. And I think Nocturne definitely allows for your jungler to have more of a carry position and to dive onto backline a lot easier.
I think Nocturne also really requires your team to have some hardcore communication. And for a lot of teams, that can be intimidating. So taking that out right away, I think makes sense. We're seeing the Lux ban come out from Post Eagles. That's also a pretty general ban. I do like it. Lux is a character that you can flex between mid and support and really enables a lot of annoying play. I think that's a good ban.
I think Lux is generally to target the Caitlyn Lux lane in bot side.
Yeah.
Because Caitlyn isn't necessarily really powerful out of laning phase. Even with a Karma, it's just worse to go Karma than Lux. So I think that's pretty good. But a Kai'Sa pick, maybe.
Kai'Sa, I like it. It's divey, it's fast, it's going to get really explosive later into the game, and I think that's something that's really important right now with how durable a lot of people are. I think I think it's a hover. This is the joke hover right now. It's not enabled, I believe. At least not in the NECC. I know people were apparently having issues playing him earlier today in ranked, so you might not be out yet.
Yeah, I couldn't find the character. It wasn't in my client. I don't know why, but Mordekaiser ban from SNHU as well, I think, is really good. It's also good single target prio. I haven't seen Kai'Sa a lot.
We've seen some Kai'Sa this semester, but generally it hasn't been super successful. I still think it's a great pick, though. Kai'Sa is a character that is very difficult to play effectively, but when you do play it effectively, again, it can be really explosive.
Snowballs really hard.
Absolutely. And SNHU White are going to go ahead and pick up Xayah here as their first pick. And this is also, I think, a great counter to Kai'Sa, just because you're so safe and you're so you've got a lot of defensive options and peel that you can really work around. And Sejuani also coming through as well as just another solid, really great jungle pick, good all-arounder. Not too risky to pick this early on.
I think that Xayah is definitely a great option into Kai'Sa because Kai'Sa is really looking to dive onto the back line.
Yeah.
And I think that Xayah has the ability to peel out of that. I think also Sejuani in general has very good peel for Xayah. And it's just a good general pick. So I'm very excited to see that be picked up. I am sort of interested to see how SNHU really plays around the meta sort of shifting. We've seen the sort of draft style that SNHU has been accustomed to sort of wane a little bit in Prio. But Rakan being picked up from Post Eagles is a very good takeaway from SNHU White, and I think does pair well with Kaisa.
It's going to break up the power couple, which is really important there. SNHU were really looking for that when they picked Xayah, and we're going to see Jarvan Four come out. You mentioned this earlier, that he's still pretty scary, and he always is kind of scary just from having that ultimate, especially with a character like Kaisa on your team. If you really lock someone down, that could be big trouble. That could be big trouble.
Yeah.
SNHU are going to take their final pick here before we move on to our second ban phase, and you can just see exactly what we're going to be looking at here. A support is needed right now, and that could really round out their bot lane here before Post Eagles have too much of a chance to counter. Zyra's interesting. That is not a commonly picked champion. No. I think this might be the first time we've seen Zyra in like a year.
I hate Zyra. Zyra is my least favorite champion to play against, but
it's just so it's an oppressive character, right? Whether or not Zyra is good, you constantly just have little plants shooting at you. And the plants that drop from minions and things like that, just passively, that's going to be a big problem if Post Eagles can't play around it, right?
I think that it's also good into Rakan and Kaisa and also Jarvan. It's a very good anti-engage champion and has just a lot of general poke and pressure in laning phase. So I think that I'm very excited to see that, as like usually you'd want to see sort of a poke support into Zyra, something that can really get rid of those plants easily for ADC, but I think that this is generally good.
Talia ban coming out from SNHU White, definitely targeted there. Going to be interested in keeping that away from the other team. We're seeing the Malzahar ban come out from Post Eagles. Malzahar is a character that is generally pretty strong right now. Level 16 characters are really, that is Cassidy. You're right. Sorry. Wrong name, same thing. Kassadin is still really good right now because level 16 characters are awesome with Rod of Ages.
Yes.
And he's going to be able to hit that power spike way earlier.
Kassadin also be generally a powerful pick, I'd say, for SNHU, as it has both good engage and disengage options with the teleport, but also a Jax ban coming up from SNHU, I think is what you want. You want that as prior right now because Jax is really good and you don't want to fight that in top lane.
Yeah, Jax especially, just after getting a little bit of tweaks recently, is a really explosive character. So you have to watch out for that. Kennen, another good ban. Kennen's just really good in organized play overall. Yeah. So I think taking him out of the pool is great. It's always something that you kind of have to worry about, just how much CC he can bring into a team fight. And if your team is really able to communicate and coordinate, that is going to be pretty much just a dead target that you could designate out of a team fight immediately. So that is a great ban right there. We're going to go into our second pick phase right now as SNHU look to fill out the rest of their roster. Annie coming up.
Scary,
that is scary. Annie is such a good, just baseline effective character, right? It does not take a lot to get that character moving and active on the field, but if you are really good at positioning and awareness in team fights, that can be an awesome character.
I'd say that really what SNHU needs to pick up right now is some type of greater AD threat because Annie's really wants to be like solo AP, but Zyra does a lot of AP damage, and a Malzahar I think is definitely a good counter into Annie.
Absolutely, that's definitely going to slow Annie's roll a little bit there, and really the early game is going to be maybe a little bit of an uphill battle for SNHU's mid lane right now, just because Malzahar is going to have that spell shield that you really got to worry about, and for Annie it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to actually find effectiveness in your abilities, a lot of which are point and click and very telegraphed.
And I think that Malzahar is also a really good character because it can lock down Xayah without them using their ult. It's very hard to react to Malzahar ult, and generally you're going to have to get that QSS tax anytime Malzahar is played. I think Shen is really interesting, especially for going on to Kaisa in team fights, giving that shield. And I think it's generally, this is Post Eagles looking for like a dive comp or a very like backline divey type of comp right now.
Yeah, I think the Shen is great. And when Kaisa goes in and Jarvan goes in and Rakan goes in, Shen is going to be able to just teleport right on top of them. Wukong is going to be very interesting into the amount of dive that kind of Post Eagles has, and having Shen as well in there to really just support that very strong front line that's going to go in on SNH's back line. I think Wukong is going to be great at just getting them all clustered together, knocking them all up, and that is going to be a big opportunity in these team fights. Wukong, I think that is a big tech pick. I think that is going to be, it's going to require a bit of skill to pilot that into a good spot here in this matchup, but it's definitely a good champion to have on your side.
It's either going to be Sedge top or Wukong top. I'm not really sure. I think probably Sedge would do better into Shen, just because AP in general and the damage from your passive, but I think Wukong's also fine. I don't think Shen really has an easy time killing any of them. So I think generally it's whichever one you want to flex into jungle, roaming around the map more, which I feel like Wukong is better at. generally, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pick Sedge Jungle either.
I think Sedge Jungle is probably going to be the most likely thing that we see here, just as kind of a very frequent pick of SNHU White's jungler.
Yeah.
So that will probably be what we see. Wukong top is still really interesting, though, and definitely a lot of stuff you can play around there. And I think that overall, both of these compositions are going to have a very interesting late game. I think I wouldn't really know who to say is going to come out on top after about 15 minutes, right? Because it is going to be a lot of ways that these teams can play around each other, and I think that is a really big thing to worry about.
Scaling as well. Like you have Xayah, Kai'Sa, which both scale well, and then you have both the mid laners, which also scale. So I think generally the teams are quite evenly matched. It's just about how they pilot their drafts. Yeah,
I absolutely agree. We're going to have to wait and see before we get in game while we wait for the spectator delay. We'll be back in just a few minutes as we get going to our first game of the night. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back as you're ready to go into our first game of the night, SNHU White versus Post Eagle. Let's go ahead and hop in and check this out. Draft was pretty interesting this game. I'm a big fan of both of these drafts, and I think that this is definitely going to be
Wukong Jungle.
A cool game going forward here. Wukong Jungle is cool. I like that. I like that.
I enjoy that way more. I think that Wukong just has way more utility as like sort of that like lower end squishy bruiser that can dish out a decent amount of damage rather than like the tankier Wukong top. And I think that Sedge plays the role well in both positions. Also, they don't need flash, so that saves the Summon spell as well.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty neutral start right here. Just a 5 spread from SNHU. You're just trying to keep everyone out of their jungle. Post are going to be doing pretty much the exact same thing. Very safe, very reserved. I think that makes sense here, especially with how close in sort of matchup these compositions are. I don't think I'd really want to give the other team a great lead, right? Because you really got to worry about these very slight differences that build up in these lanes are going to be what starts to show the cracks in these compositions.
I think that that's definitely the case. I feel like both, in general, teams service the same fantasy, except for the fact that SNHU probably has more peel and Post has a little bit more dive. But in general, like Malzahar and Annie are kind of the same character, and the only real differences are in bot lane. Like top lane, it's a peeling character and a peeling character. In jungle, it's a early game jungler and an early game jungler. It's kind of servicing generally the same stuff, except for bot.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree here. It's going to be really interesting to see exactly how, like we mentioned in draft, how they pilot these characters, because that is going to be a big, big factor in how this actually turns out. We're seeing Post Eagles posted up in this bush right now, and they're not going to do too much other than just take a little bit of damage right away as they try to walk back into lane. So hoping for a little bit more of an engage off of that, but level 1, what are you going to do?
Yeah, definitely. Level 1, it's kind of hard for Xayah to do a decent amount. Kai'Sa does have a decent amount of damage level 1, surprisingly, but it looks like Xayah is doing a very good job at poking out Kai'Sa at the moment.
And that's going to be a big thing that Xayah has going for her in this lane matchup here, is really just establishing that kind of early lead dominance right here. We're seeing that top lane is going a little bit rough up here for Shen, and that's going to be a big issue for him. He's going to really have to worry about that. We could see a very early gank come out as Cardboard shows up, trying to go in. We'll see the flash come out from Chromzu, and we're going to see that Rakan dash back out to get out of there, saving his flash, holding on to that. Very important that he does.
That was very good, I think, for SNHU, is that flash on Kai'Sa really stops the engage, I feel like. You would have liked to get an exhaust out of it, but I feel like definitely that flash was a good pickup.
Up in the top lane here, we talked a little bit about that, but Shen is really going to have to worry about that Sejuani. He really can't go too far out without just having to take a ton of damage and slowly walk back to turret. That's going to be a little bit of a problem going forward here, but we're going to see, especially as he hits level 6, S'mores is going to get a much greater global presence than Schwartz will, which is going to be the kind of make or break up here in the top lane. Mid lane, we're seeing Cardboard hang out around there. I'm not sure if we'll see a gank anytime soon, just trying to get his Raptors down. This could be a pretty low intensity early game right here, as it looks like Jarvan isn't really looking to do too much over in Post Eagles, at least not yet this early.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Jarvan comes online way more when they hit level 6, but I'm a bit surprised to not see a level 3 early gank come out to really counter what Wukong was trying to do. It looks like Jarvan, though, is just trying to get like good vision really in the game in general, which is fine. And I think that generally what we're really going to have to watch out for this game is what Jarvan will do bot lane.
And we are seeing a lead being built in the jungle right now as Wang is able to pick up a little bit more CS. He is hidden in this bush, could potentially see a gank come out over here as he hops on in, but Conair is already back under turret. He's going to get half health before he's able to retreat. Post Eagles aren't able to find anything off of their gank either. SNHU, both of their bot laners holding on to Flash.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely a good situation for SNHU. Being able to get out of there without using some spells is the ideal in general. But it looks like maybe Cardboard's coming up for a gank right now topside.
He's going to go ahead and make his way in. S'mores flying right on back, just not quite able to get the route that they needed, just barely. It's going to be a tough lane to gank, especially going into Shen.
Yeah.
He's able to take quite a lot of damage before he has to go back. And could see Cardboard get jumped on here as Wang holding out in the bush. We're seeing also mid laner Post is coming on up. Is able to get Rift out here. Cardboard forced to flash on out. Now taking a lot of damage. Spoon is able to come on up, force them to get leashed back there. And Cardboard is going to be able to retreat without losing too much there.
I would be fuming if that were me. Getting your Scuttle stolen and then having to use Flash, that's a mental hit right there.
Yeah. that has got to be a little bit rough. But he's right back to farming. It's not too much of a big hit for him right now. And that CS difference is starting to build in the jungle, but it's still minor at this point. It's definitely salvageable. Definitely not too much to worry about going on.
Yeah, in general, as mentioned before, the game really gets decided by the bot lane. Like, these are the only characters that are different. Like, Annie has decent wave clear and mana sustain. Same with Malzahar. Top lane's kind of just an island, so it's really what's going to happen bot lane. But it looks like there's a lot of wards in that bush, so it doesn't look like Cardboard can come for a gank right now.
He is going to show himself bot side there. I think he was really hoping for that honey fruit to be up and available, get him a little bit of extra health before he could go down for that gank. And both these teams got to start thinking about the dragon soon. That's definitely something to worry about. We're seeing Wang come on up. S'mores is recalling, and it looks like he might just try and stick it right now. Not quite sure if he did. He just went back, and now Wang is up here alone with Schwartz. I'm not confident about his ability to 1v1 Schwartz here. And with the teleport coming back up, Schwartz is going to back right off. No ultimate from Jarvan to really lock him down either. And he's actually able to get quite a big punish on him, too. That is a lot of health gone. And S'mores is not quite able to get back in time, forcing Jarvan to recall there.
Yeah, I think really the goal of that was to help get that massive wave crashed under Schwartz's tower. But it's really hard, especially when ganking Sejuani. You can't really get them low. They're just so tanky.
Yeah, right now we're seeing both junglers are almost level 6, getting close to it. That's going to be a big power spike for both of them. They're really going to be able to take a lot more sort of decisive team fights and decisive ganks, and that is something that you got to be kind of scared of that right now, especially in this mid lane right now where someone could really come in and break it, but Cardboard is going to go down to bot to try and gank this, try and push them back, get this lane pushed up a little bit, build some priority there, and that's going to open up Dragon Pit a little bit as they push on through. Not quite sure if they really want to take that yet, nor if it's a good idea. Wang nearby and bot lane needs to recall to pick up some items. They haven't gone back yet, so Dragon could be an option soon for SNHU, but still just getting delayed a little bit there.
Yeah, I think that it's probably best to recall there and not really go for drag. You know, you didn't really get bot lane low enough to really stop a decent engage. And I definitely think that Kai'Sa has more damage, at least at this stage of the game, than Xayah would. However, Zyra might be able to make that up, but it's really unsure.
Yeah, I mean, in this top lane, too, it will be a little bit of a wet noodle fight, but it's worth noting that neither of these players can really overextend. They have to be very careful about where they are, kind of in the line of scrimmage up there. In the mid lane, we're seeing Cardboard around here once again as he does his clear. I'm really scared about a gank that could potentially come through here. He's not level 6 yet, but if he does come through, that could be a very, very dead Malzahar.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I did just notice is that I feel like Sejuani top is probably better than Wukong just because you can cancel Shen's ult.
That's true. That is actually something that is really, really worth noting there, is that if Schwartz is up there, that is going to be a big opportunity to really shut something down. Wang is level 6 and starting to pressure Cardboard a little bit. Very smart of him. Just get out of there. Not really going to try and go in on this too much. Spoon still nearby. Very, very close to turret, though, and Cardboard just hanging around to make sure that Wang isn't able to pull anything off too big.
Yeah, and it looks like Zyra is roaming to get some type of ward in Jarvan's red side, hoping to look out for some vision. But Jarvan's clearing their blue right now, so that won't really be worth it until a bit later. In general, it just seems like a slow game right now. No one really feels confident engaging, and it feels like someone's going to have to make a big mistake to go in.
And we're dead even right now in terms of gold, but that's going to be a dead Rakan coming through right now as he gets taken out. That's first blood for Rarvane, not going to SNHU's ADC, but first blood is still good all the same. It's going to buy a lot of space down here on the bot side of the map, especially with Cardboard nearby. Chromesy's got to be very careful about how far forward he plays. Seen in top lane, though, a gank coming up from Wang Schwartz, and maybe a little bit of a precarious position right now, trying to just juke him out, but the ult comes out from Wang there, and he's going to try and turn on this. Schwartz has to fight or die, and he's going to try and take this Jarvan with him, but not quite able to. Try and just give him that extra little bit of health. Meanwhile, SNHU you're going to try and find some value on the bot side of the map, finally taking down this dragon, and this is Hextech, so that could potentially be notable on them.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely a good trade for SNHU. Dragons in general are just so strong that really if you get a lot of Drakes just stacked over and over and over again, you're gonna just generally win the game, depending on what soul it is. Certain souls are better than others. But yeah, I think that was generally a good trade, and I was honestly really surprised by the Xayah E that came out onto that Rakan earlier.
We're seeing now, I mean, the gold difference is it was dead even the entire game, but SNHU are starting to pick up a little bit of that lead there as they find that first kill and as they take that dragon. Post were able to find a kill in the top lane, which evens that up a little bit here, so they're starting to, I mean, the difference is not as big as it potentially could be there. Chromzu getting a little bit of a scare right there, but the scarier thing is the fact there's a Wukong in that bush. There's a big monkey man very close by that could potentially be looking to gank down there. It looks like he will start to channel recall. And we did see a missing ping on top of him. He's just recalling right in the middle of the lane. That's a power move right there.
Yeah,
He's establishing dominance.
Yeah, definitely. But it looks like Jarvan might have seen that. Good ward by Zyra right there. Rakan is going in for an ult, but I don't know if Jarvan's close enough to really engage off that.
Yeah, not going to find anything off of that. That was a great engage, but just not quite the coordination needed to really pull that off. Now with Jarvan down here in the bot side, just going to try and establish some vision control down here, which SNHU currently have quite a bit of vision in this area. So that's definitely something they really need to worry about there. No dragon up for another 4 minutes. SNHU finding that objective. Rift Herald is active in the top side of the map, though. That's going to be potentially the next hot topic as both junglers start to head up towards that side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. Rift Herald's also really strong. In general, objectives are... and it seems like it's a bit difficult to gank both bot sides. Yeah, I think the junglers are really going to try to look for objectives over anything else this game because it doesn't really seem any lane is too gankable.
Counter jungling, Cardboard going into Post's side of the jungle, trying to get him back for going into their side of the jungle in the bot lane there. A lot of vision down there. Schwartz under turret right now, and Cardboard very close by. This could be very scary right now, but we're going to see the sun come through. Not going to be able to stop Schwartz from dying, and Cardboard, does he have the damage to burn through Shen right here? That could be a very scary and very close engagement right now. They're going to start to go in, taunted. Cardboard able to flash over the side, but that ward is going to spot him out. There's no blast cone right there. He's in a weird spot right now with Wang hopping on over. He's going to be able to pick up this kill, taking down Cardboard, finding the 3rd kill for his team.
That's so unfortunate. Just that huge minion wave stacked up. I feel like maybe Cardboard could have gotten the kill if just not like 500 damage of minion autos would come through. But yeah, that was just unfortunate timing.
That was Schwartz was in so deep right there. Under turret in between tier 1s and tier 2s against Shen is a scary spot to be in right there. That
that's a power move.
Just kill you outright, and that's something you got to be really concerned about here. Seeing Rakan going in a little bit far, will get rooted, but just poking back and forth right now. Chrome's is starting to move in on Conair as he pushes up just a little bit too far forward, forces the ult out, and that's big. We'll see as the E comes through on Conair, finding some damage on the Chromzu, who get a shield there.
Getting that channel, it's really good for future plays. I feel like that opens up SNHU a lot more to ganks in general, and maybe going for something crazier in bot lane. Is very good channel, though probably Kaisa would have died if that didn't come through, as I think that Connor might have been able to re-engage that.
Yeah, it is worth noting that the top lane incident of about 2 minutes ago is going to allow Post Eagles to actually pick up the Rift Herald there, which is going to be big for them as they find the first one. That's going to let them really just open up a lane completely and get a lot of gold for themselves. Definitely not something SNHU want. They did find the first dragon, but objectives are starting to become a little bit of an issue right now. If they keep getting picked off like this, that's going to be a big sour spot right there. And we're going to see the Rift Herald get dropped right in the mid lane as they immediately look to try and open this up. It will be able to find a good bit of damage on this, taking down 2 plates right there. Not a dead turret, not quite yet.
Not yet.
A lot of armor on that final plate, but that is definitely a lot of pressure that's just constantly being exerted on SNHU right now. And that's going to be very important when the next dragon comes up in a minute, because SNHU are going to essentially have to decide, or the Post Eagles are going to be in a situation where they can force SNHU to decide whether or not they want to try and take the fight for the dragon or try and take a fight for the mid tower.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely a good sort of setup for the future. I'm just a bit worried about how low Post Eagles is in bot side. It looks like SNHU is going to try to recall, though. Not really confident in the dive. And it just looks like the game is slowly but surely moving forward.
Yeah, Post Eagles, they're finding that slight gold advantage is going to be a little bit of an important factor there, but all things considered, these teams are pretty much dead even for this next team fight that should be coming up soon, as a lot of them start to congregate towards the bot side of the map right here. Schwartz and S'mores are still up in the top lane. Neither of them have teleport. Stand United on cooldown. Schwartz will have his teleport up soon. It is what's it? Unleashed teleport right now.
Yep.
So he's going to be able to get in there whenever he needs to. But we'll see. A lot of SNHU grouping up around the dragon right now.
And it looks like Jarvan was just able to get Gore Drinker, so that might be huge, especially in this Drake fight coming up soon. Mid doesn't have Cryo, though, so that allows Malzahar to really roam into this, which is definitely scary because Malzahar hasn't used their ult yet, and that will take someone completely out of the fight.
That said, it's a good thing for SNHU to really engage on this on their own, but Jarvan's going to fly in, and he's going to steal the Chemtech Drake. We'll see if he gets punished for it there as Cardboard tries to go in, but he flashes right on over, and he's going to be able to get away. It was a good call for SNHU to try and take that dragon on their own terms, not let Post Eagles try and find a situation where they can force the 50-50 on the mid turret and the dragon, but they really, really underestimated how scary it would be for Jarvan to be right there. That was a really clean steal.
Yeah, that was definitely clean. Just looked like the damage output wasn't there. I'm not exactly sure if a smite was down or not, but yeah, that was definitely a great steal by Jarvan.
And now, mid-turret for SNHU, very low, a big wave there, Annie. Going to have a tough time clearing that as Malzahar starts to pressure that, and that's going to be first turret for Post Eagles. Building up that gold advantage even more as things start to get a little bit more scary for SNHU right now. It's definitely on the back foot at the moment, but it's really going to matter how they play this neutral game here for the next 4 or so minutes. They really need to try and out-farm, and in a couple of lanes, they're already achieving that, looking primarily at the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like mid lane is weirdly what has been getting the most attention in some way. Like, it's just too hard to gank bot lane right now. Like, Xayah just had so much peel, and both bot lanes are playing so safe.
Yeah. And that's definitely smart of them, right? You got to be scared if you are Post Eagles, because if you dive in too hard, SNHU have the peel to just keep you off of them, right?
Yeah.
And if SNHU try and play too far forward, then they have to spend their peel trying to escape from the dive characters who can just dive in on you after.
Yeah, it's definitely a sticky situation, and the junglers really haven't found a good way to gank yet. Wukong has just not come really on the right timers when the wave was pushing. And then also Jarvan, Xayah is just Xayah, so you have the ability to play back. But it looks like there's engage right now, and Xayah ult will come through. Looks like maybe the ult might be pulled back, but the Shen ult comes through and a teleport from Schwartz.
It's going to be a dead Xayah right there as Connor goes down, but Chromzu goes through as Spoon ends up in the mix. This Rakan about to die, double kill coming out. They got to worry about Wang though as he dives in on the backline. Rarvane just blowing up right now, but Schwartz is in the mix of things. Wang's going to go down. It's just S'mores left, and he's got 3 people and a Tibbers on top of him. Going to be able to shut him down and start to pressure this turret here, and actually going to be able to do it very quickly.
Great job from SNHU. That was actually a 5-man or a 4v5 bot. Malzahar was the only one that didn't actually come down for that. Schwartz, it looked like they walked their entire way down, or maybe just used teleport into a different ward. But yeah, that's net 2 kills for SNHU right there. That's very good.
Yeah, definitely a good way to get themselves back in the game. It didn't come without a cost, though. Post Eagles finding, I believe, 2 kills in that fight.
Yep.
It was a big shutdown onto the Shen, though, and that's something that is worth considering. There's some more gold going amongst SNHU right now, and they still have 2 minutes left until really objectives come back up right now. Connor, very far forward, could potentially run into a little bit of an issue, but he quickly is able to get back before Rakan comes in.
Yeah, I'd be a bit scared. Zyra is sort of hovering around, but not really in the lane at the moment. If Rakan had ult at that time, that might have been a dead Xayah. Luckily, Rakan didn't have ult.
Yeah, and they saw him pop it, so they knew he didn't have it, but it's going to be off cooldown pretty soon, and Wang's starting to show up. They are going to spot him out. That is a great turret popping up from Rarvane right there. They're going to be able to fly on back. Cardboard could potentially be in a very important position right now, forcing Wang to dive back. SNHU are going to take this opportunity to start to go in, and they're going to be able to catch out this Rakan and just blow him up. Rarvane finding their second kill right now. Wang now trying to go right back in, is getting a ton of health off of that from Gore Drinker right there, but is going to get taken out by Rarvane. He finds a double kill. There's now 3 kills on the bot lane support and 0 on the ADC for SNHU, but
yeah.
Hey.
That's definitely a lot of AP pressure on SNHU's team. You know, Annie with 2 kills is amazing. Just like to say that. That definitely puts Annie as sort of in a position to roam more than Malzahar, and that ult can just assassinate someone with Tibbers, stun, and just all that damage coming through. But one thing that I'd like to mention, Wukong having 3 kills with Divine Thunder
Yeah.
I think that's extremely important. I think that it would probably be better if it was on Xayah, but the problem with that is that doesn't really enable mid-game as much, and I think that Wukong having the kills definitely enables mid-game with that damage from Wukong ult and also Wukong's engage.
It's also worth noting that the kills going on to Zyra for SNHU's bot lane is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It doesn't feel that bad to be behind on Xayah, right? Because you can essentially safe farm all game with your ultimate. Like you have so much self-peel that you can really, you can afford to farm later. It's not a terrible thing, but even then, Connor's doing a good job at staying close to Post Eagles ADC in terms of CS.
And also, one thing as well, Xayah has 6 assists. That's 2 kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is, or actually 3 kills, which actually would put them ahead of the other ADC. Really depends. Yeah, they're really close on farm, only about like 500 off. It's definitely very good to see. It looks like everyone's even sort of on items right now. The only one... yeah, everyone has their mythic. It seems like a very even game, except for maybe support.
Good disengage there from Rarvain. Cardboard now in a weird spot, and they might try and engage on him. The teleport's starting to come down from Schwartz. He's going to be right in the middle of this, popping up right on top of Wang, who tried to go in. That is a big opening pick right there, really just cutting through the front line of Post Eagles there, and that's going to be to run through. They take down Ryanite, and they start to make their way towards the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, that seemed like a bit of miscommunication there. It looked like Jarvan was trying to engage on that, but the team wanted to back up. So that was very unfortunate. But I will say that SNHU getting a Mountain Drake and a Hextech Drake, probably the best out of the Drakes so far for the team. Hextech Drake gives the ability to cool down attack speed, while Mountain Drake gives armor and magic resistance. I think that that's very good, especially with the chance that they're playing. Oh, there might be a dive here.
Yeah, Schwartz is more than happy to tank this turret fire right here. Schmorz is going to be able to tank a lot of those hits, but Connor just in the perfect spot to pincer him. Really great movement right there, knowing exactly how far he could push that. Schwartz is going to be able to take down this turret. Rakan not going to do too much into this full team right there, other than just kind of sit back and mad dog him.
One thing that I would definitely be worried about is now that Zyra ult is online, it's such a good anti-engage tool that it's really going to be hard now that Post is behind as much as they are to really get anything done. You have objective control with Zyra ult, Wukong ult. In general, SNHU's team is looking to be a threat, and Jarvan really didn't get that much early, which is where Jarvan shines. I think Wukong definitely scales more into the mid-game, while Jarvan is definitely an early-game character.
Post Eagle's a little bit scared that SNHU are going to try and immediately convert onto Baron, but they are playing much more reserved than that. They're just going to TP back, pick up some extra items, their gold there, and start to get a little bit of a safer rollout here as they pop back up into mid lane here. 3 of them there. I mean, they can kind of afford to just death ball around in the mid lane right now. They definitely have the stats to do it with the gold lead that they're starting to build up, which is shifted back into their favor. Meanwhile, Schwartz is going to start to pressure the top lane right here, and he will be able to kill this turret. Shimura's not going to have a lot of room to work with.
One thing that I'd also like to point out is that no one has QSS on SNHU's team, so Malzahar could be a threat in the next coming fight if they get off any good ult. It's going to be really scary, especially on Zyra or Wukong, to really stop the engage from happening.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much impact from the Malzahar yet, but I mean, he's there. He is always there, and he is always going to be effective with his ultimate. So really, it just takes one good opportunity for him to find someone and really single them out with that ultimate, and then he's gonna be there. You really got to worry about him.
Yeah. Everyone talks about the Malzahar QSS tag. That was an amazing almost pickup by Connor right there. Yeah, that's like was like 10 health. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Cardboard picking up a stray kill up here on Wang as they start to push up through the top lane. It's going to be a dead mid turret here for tier 2, the Post Eagles. Chromzo is very far forward here for how little health he has. I'd be very scared right now.
Yeah. Definitely as well, and it seems like SNHU just has better objective control right now in the game, and it's going to be scary really for Post to get back into it. They do have decent pick potential, so that is good with Jarvan, but Jarvan just so far behind right now, the character kind of feels a bit useless at this point in the game.
Yeah.
It's just especially hard, especially with the Jarvan nerf that came through. Yeah, it's very unfortunate to see.
Yeah, we're seeing now SNHU just trying to get as much vision and counter jungling in as they can, and they're doing a great job of that. This is exactly what they need to be doing right now, is just closing the blinds on Post Eagles and really stopping them from being able to see into their own jungle, as well as just killing all their monsters, right? I mean, yeah. Jarvan is already behind on Post Eagles, so just stealing even more of his resources is going to be perfect for SNHU.
Yeah, funneling into Jarvan and making them a useless character is probably the goal right now. With Jarvan being so far behind, they can't really do anything. So just basically making it so they only have 4 characters is probably a good option.
Spoon's out of there.
Yeah.
He steps on a ward up there, and Wang is immediately spotted out there. SNHU just have so much vision into Post Eagles. Into their living room right now. They can see everything in Post Eagles jungle right now, and that's a really oppressive spot to be in right now, right? You've got to be very, very careful about your situation and your positioning right now as Post Eagles, because you really don't know how much information SNHU have right now. Like, they can see everything going on.
Yeah, that's one of the scary parts, especially when a team's ahead, is just how far they can snowball off vision. One thing that I would like to mention, though, is that Sejuani now has Fimbulwinter, and also that Annie is about half an item ahead. They do have Shadow Flame now, which is such a good assassinating item for Annie. Being able to just drop Tibbers and just get that good item execute is really helpful.
SNHU just continuing to push these lanes out, start to find some priority in all these, start to pressure some turrets. 45 seconds until the next Drake is up, and that is going to be potentially a turning point here, because Post Eagles really have to try and contest this, right? If SNHU are able to take this Drake, then they're on Soul Point. And for Mountain Soul, that's scary, especially for Post Eagles, who are such a dive-heavy team. If everyone in SNHU is just tankier, then they aren't going to be able to blow up the targets that they need to blow up. And suddenly, these very divey, pick-focused interactions are going to become much longer and much more drawn out.
It just doesn't seem like Post got ahead as early as they really wanted to in this game, and it's hard. Even Jarvan going in right now, it seems like Jarvan's just going to pop, and since Sejuani's under tower, they can just tank so many tower shots, and the Wukong anti-engage, amazing there. Yeah, that's really what we're talking about when SNHU has great anti-engage. And when they're so far ahead, they also just have good engage because they just have more items.
Yeah, they can just run at you and stat check you.
Yeah.
And that is a very scary thing. SNHU are going to immediately start to pivot over towards the Drake. They're most likely going to get this outside of very exceptional circumstances.
Yeah.
So they're on Drake Point right now. And the Mountain Soul, and like I said, it's going to be really difficult. We saw at Post Eagles, they found an engage. I don't know if it was the greatest engage, but they did find one, and they just could not get damage out.
Yeah, they couldn't really do too much, especially with Sejuani just having so much health, being such a good tank. And even Wukong. Wukong has a lot of health as well. Divine Thunder and Black Cleaver give a decent amount. So, yeah, that's also something to look out for. And Zyra's ult, just as I mentioned before, is just such a good anti-engage tool. You just drop that on your entire team. You don't get knocked up. Entire team that's trying to dive on you does. And then all of the damage from the plants, it's just such great burn. It's kind of like a mini Heimerdinger.
Yeah, it's going to be something that's very concerning as we get into more and more team fights right here. Schwartz is potentially in a position to get picked off right now as Wang hops in. The taunt comes out. Schwartz, this is maybe the last person you want to try and pick off, though, I think. Schwartz is so much health, and the teleport's coming in from Spoon right now. Rarvane already popping up on the side, and this could be a big issue for Schmores right now, but not able to get rooted there. Rarvane trying to get in. The knockup comes through. We're going to see the ult come in, or the teleport come in. S'mores about to pop. Will end up going down right there. The Malzahar ult comes through onto Spoon, but is not able to stop Wang from going down. Ryanite, Chromzu under turret, under fire right now. Rakan not quite able to link up with the team. Has to take the long way around. That's going to give SNHU a big opportunity right here to really pressure this turret. And with Schwartz here, this thing is just going to explode. Actually, Schwartz is not here. Schwartz is dead. So this turret will not die quite as fast as they want. And that front line that they're missing could be a little bit of an issue. SNHU right now, they're taking a good bit of poke damage.
Yeah, I would back off right now. You don't really have Zyra ult, and Annie ult's down, and Schwartz is dead. I don't really think they have the ability to push that tower as fast as they wanted to. However, Baron could be an option. I think it's probably best to not go for it at this moment. However, you do really want to go for a team fight in the future to try to get something out. I really try to get this Baron to close out the game, because as the game goes on, one thing that I like to mention is that Kai'Sa probably scales a little bit better than Zyra, and then also Malzahar scales probably a little bit better than Annie. Even though Jarvan's kind of a useless character right now, didn't really get what they wanted to early game, you still have the threat of Malzahar just pressing the ult button and taking away half your health.
And Jarvan is never going to be 100% useless with his ultimate, right? He's going to be able to lock people down for the rest of his team. And that is a big thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a CC bot at this point in the game. That is definitely a strong role to have. Cobra getting hit there by a very far-range projectile, but not going to dive in as Rarvane starts to back up. Schwartz moving in. Wang could be in a weird spot right now if he's not able to get out. He does have flash, but is he going to spend it? No, he's going to hop over. with his kit. But 4 people under this turret, SNHU might still be looking to siege here. They've got their entire team around this area. If they find a pick, that is an easy Baron conversion.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they are going to be able to burst down that top tower very easily. It looks like Wukong was silenced there, so they couldn't really engage onto Jarvan or Malzahar at the moment.
Post Eagles are doing a good job of recognizing what position they're in right now, though. They know that they need to play back. They know that they can't really take these fights. They just need to exist in the same area as SNHU to slowly do damage to them and slowly try and push them off of their turrets. That is what they need to do right now, and just kind of try and play tower defense for a little bit, because SNHU have such a chokehold around their front doors right now, and they're going to start to push out a little bit here. The big thing is they really want to start to clear out a lot of this vision and start to get a little bit more sight onto Baron, because if SNHU start doing Baron, I mean, they could very easily sneak it right now. Post Eagles are very concerned about that.
Yeah, one thing with Post Eagles, though, it feels like they're definitely playing a bit too defensive, and they definitely did in the early game. They didn't really pick up as many things as they really needed to, so I would have loved to see them on some type of scaling draft, because they're playing even exceptionally for being as down as they are. Only like an 8,000 gold lead. If you were on scaling characters, I could see you getting more picks towards this time and really pushing the game back a bit faster than they do with their draft. But as mentioned before, you still have Malzahar and Kai'Sa, which both have that potential. Just they really have to get some type of shutdown, whether that be onto Zyra, Wukong, or Annie.
Timer's ticking down right now, 45 seconds until Mountain Drake spawns, and this could either be a Mountain Soul for SNHU, or if they find a particularly grisly team fight, things could really look bad for Post Eagles right here. They do not have a lot of defenses up right now. Baron is also still up, existing at this point. SNHU looking to try and push Post Eagles as far back as they can, trying to reestablish some of this vision that they lost in this jungle. And if they take this dragon, then they're all just going to get so much tankier.
Yeah, it would be disastrous if SNHU was able to take this. That basically means that the game's kind of over. Like, unless you can survive till Elder, but it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to do that. And a little bit of poking coming out right now. But it doesn't look like Post Eagles is in the position to really engage right now with all of the SNHU's ults being up, unless they go for some type of steal, which we've seen the potential of them able to do that with the Chemtech Drake. But yeah, it's definitely a scary situation. Rakan's pushing up really far.
He is just going to pop as Spoon starts to go in on a kill streak right now. Wang trying to escape, but S'mores is now the next one in the line of fire. Tibbers continue to just pressure them even further back as Schwartz holds the line in this jungle. That's going to be a dead Mountain Drake for SNHU and a Mountain Soul for them, as we see those shields immediately pop up right now. SNHU in a great spot at the moment. They found a kill. That Rakan's dead for another 20 seconds. SNHU didn't quite find what they needed to really try and push for Nexus right now, so they're going to go over to Baron.
Yeah, and I think once Baron is taken, it's kind of curtain calls for Post. Yeah, you don't really have the wave push to really do anything with Baron, especially with the state that Malzahar is in at the current moment. If Malzahar was a bit ahead, then maybe, but yeah, they're just going to be able to burst down this Baron completely for free.
And that is a very quick kill. And they're going to be able to channel the recalls, go ahead and get back out, pick up some items, start to go forward for this final push, start to push out all these lanes extremely far, of which should not be hard. They're already pretty pushed up on their own, aside from mid lane. These Baron buffs are just going to make them push even faster.
Yeah, and that's what the name of the game for SNHU right now. Nothing is up, no objectives, so there's really no need to go for a big type of fight. You just want to siege. And they have a great team for that. You have Xayah and you have Zyra, who are great at that. And also, if Post tries to engage for any fight, even if they seem like they have a great engage, it's going to be hard with all the ults up.
Yeah, a lot of great disengage ults on SNHU that has been really taking them through these team fights right now. Wang is on a flank right now and could potentially try and find something for his team, but Tibbers going in. That is a double stun off of that. Rheinite's going to blow up. Rakan could be next on the chopping block. We'll see Tibbers getting leashed back, not going to be able to find that kill, but doesn't really have a ton of time to get back and heal. He's got to do it quick, leaving his team a little bit exposed while he's out. As SNHU start to push up onto these Nexus turrets, they're going to start to get some damage onto these. That's a big root there on to S'more. He's taking a ton of damage. Wang trying to go in on the backline there, but the ult coming out from Cardboard is going to be able to send him straight up in the air. Rakan also going down. It could be another kill here as a double kill comes out from Rarvane, taking it down Chromzu. These Nexus turrets under siege. Now the Nexus itself, it's looking like a win for SNHU White as they take the first game versus Post Eagles. Extremely dominant, 20-7.
Yeah, that was an amazing play by SNHU. Post, I think, played very defensive, very good, but it didn't really synergize well with their draft, which I feel like is the major problem that they faced, is that Jarvan just couldn't get anything early, and at the current state of the character, doesn't really have enough power into that mid and late game to really do much compared to Wukong. And then when SNHU was just getting kill after kill, they just snowballed so hard that it was so hard for Post Eagles to do their dive onto an anti-engage that was already pushing just because of stats.
Yeah, it was
tough.
We got to see, once one team got ahead, you really start to see the cracks in the other team, right? Because both these compositions counter each other if they're ahead. Yeah. So once one team gets ahead, that snowball is going to keep going forward and forward, and that's exactly what we saw right there as SNHU White walk away with the first game of this best of 3 set. But we've got game 2 coming up after a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to SNHU Esports. We're going to our second game of the night in our best of three set. SNHU White versus Post Eagles. White are 1-up right now after a extremely strong looking first game.
Yeah, that was very well played by SNHU. They just played their draft insanely well, didn't lose anything early, which is exactly what you want to do. And they also got a lot early as well, which helped them just snowball their lead even further. And it just seemed like Post Eagles didn't necessarily draft for the type of play style that they were looking for.
Speaking of draft, let's go ahead and hop into our draft for our second game of the night. Let's see. We already got some bands coming out. Vigar, Ramus, Asol, Nocturne. These are pretty similar. We're going to see the Zyra band come out from Post Eagles, though. And I think that makes sense. Arvane was kind of going crazy.
Yeah. I don't think SNHU would draft it again, though. I think probably they wouldn't.
We'll see how much they switch up their draft, right?
Yeah, I think the SNHU is probably going to draft very similarly. Like, if you play the exact same, like, play as safe as SNHU is doing on some type of scaling comp, I think it would be good. But I hope that Post Eagles really drafts something that fits more their playstyle, especially getting, like, a scaling type of character, maybe a more later game jungler. And I think that would definitely fit because it seemed like they didn't really capitalize on the early game that Jarvan provided them.
Yeah, we're going to see first pick from Post Eagles could be a Mordekaiser. That is a interesting first pick. That is easy to counter. And that's something that I'm scared about because SNHU White's top laners play they have
Olaf.
characters that can counter Mordekaiser in their champ pool.
Just play Olaf.
Yeah.
You got ult. It stops Mordekaiser ult. Just play Olaf.
Olaf, Fiora, anything like that is really going to deal with that. That's an interesting first pick. I don't know how I feel about it.
I do Xayah Olaf right now because Olaf can also be played in the jungle. Yeah. I think that would be an absolute insane pick.
That is a pretty strong flex pick. We'll see what they go for second. They got the Rakan denied from them last game.
Yeah.
but that kind of ended up helping.
I don't really know if you need Rakan with Xayah. Like, it's good, but like it's kind of like the two characters buff each other, but they also have two opposite playstyles.
Yeah.
Rakan's very much an engage, but Xayah wants someone that peels for them. I think Wukong's good. I think Wukong's very good.
Great last time. Post Eagles really had a tough time adapting their playstyle once their dives just got shut down by Wukong Ultimate. And they did a great job of holding Wukong Ultimate, specifically for when they needed it. They never used it offensively. They only used it to really, it's just a get off me button, which it's great for.
Yeah, Wukong's just such a great pick in general. It just is such a good character. Being able to go over walls and definitely put them more firmly in the jungle and allows for a lot more options. But Lucian? I don't know if I like that. I feel like it's fine depending on how they draft. I could see it chunking out Xayah early. If you want to get like lane pressure and go for like early drakes and objectives, I think that's definitely good. Yeah, Lucian Nami.
It's still good. It's still good.
It's still good.
They synergize with each other's playstyles very well. Even though the electrocute thing doesn't work anymore, still good.
Yep. I'd honestly like to see a Braum buff. I really miss Lucian Braum, where you could just automatically get that stun off.
That is a fun lane. That is a very fun lane.
But Braum isn't played anymore, so yeah, it's just a bit sad. Not really in the meta at the moment with characters like, just the ones that are present. Like Braum can't really do anything to the mages in the game currently. Like true. Annie, what do you do? What do you do against Annie as Braum?
Yeah. We'll see SNHU White's final pick here for
Lulu?
their first draft is going to be Lulu.
Okay. I think that's fine. That definitely gives a bit of peel for Xayah, and that also gets a bit of damage and engage, especially with Wukong ult. One thing is that size is actually a interesting stat in the game. There isn't really a way to counter it. So, ulting Wukong and then Wukong using ult will just hit more of the team. That's a great combo I love to see, but also very good character in general.
I think Lulu is also really going to help in the mid lane, right? Because that was a big front line in the last game was the mid lane. Really, both teams trying to put a lot of resources into making their mid lane works with the Malzahar versus Annie mid lane. So I think Lulu is really going to help put a lot of resources where they really need them there. Sedge ban makes sense. Schwartz was unkillable last game.
Yeah, Sedge is a really good character, but I'm still weary that Post Eagles will let Olaf get through, because I feel like Olaf just fits into the comp really well. There's also a better disengage character that you could play, but I still think that SNHU has decent engage. Xayah can get out of towers easily, so they can go for stuff like that really well, and it looks like they are letting Olaf through, so I hope that SNHU does pick it up. We do see it on their champ pool quite frequently in general with SNHU Blue, so I'd like to see it be picked up, but really anything can counter it. Like, Mordekaiser is just so counterable.
Yeah, it's definitely a comfort pick. It's definitely a comfort pick coming in for first pick, which is always scary. Maybe a little bit concerned about getting banned out. I believe it did get banned out last game. We'll see now. See the Swain.
I love that. I love that. Swain is so strong, and I think people sleep on Swain so much. Swain is just unkillable if you build him Bruiser AP. Like ult, you could just be standing in 3 people and it takes so long to kill. It definitely provides a tankiness that SNHU is looking for, and especially if they pick like a Bruiser type character into Mordekaiser.
And we're seeing just the disengage, so the exact same disengage strategy coming out as well. Gnar,
I don't. Mordekaiser jungle?
Is it Mordekaiser jungle? Well, we'll see with their final pick what it is.
It's Mordekaiser jungle.
That is very interesting.
Where else would Gnar go?
I don't know.
I think it's it is Mordekaiser jungle. I don't like that. I don't think Mordekaiser jungle is really that good.
Your ganks are so awkward with Mordekaiser jungle.
You hit 6 and then you ult Xayah, and then Xayah like saves ult and just like eats you, like
roots you.
And then you can't do anything versus Wukong, and then Swain, you just ult in it, and then like I don't know. Yeah, no, it's Mordekaiser jungle. I don't know how I feel, but it looks like But like, if SNHU's banned it in the first game, definitely means that player is proficient on that character. So I'd like to see what they pick into Gnar. Really, anything's good. One thing that I would like to mention, though, is I think Swain enables SNHU to play a more pick-based comp. Even if they are down, I think that's very good. Kennen, I think, that's scary. I would be very scared if I was into Swain, Kennen, Wukong.
How do you engage on SNHU right now?
You can't. Then also, SNHU engages on you. How do you stop it?
It's going to be tough. Gnar can disengage, right?
Yeah.
That's all you really got. So Post Eagles really have to play with some tempo here. They gotta find these picks. That is their win condition right here.
They have to get something out early.
They cannot survive a 5-on-5 team fight with SNHU White right now. Their dive just isn't strong enough. And I'm probably going to eat my words now that I've said that out loud. But I see SNHU White has a ton of peel and a ton of disengage, and that is really scary for a composition that's running Mushin Nami.
Yeah, I don't really see how Post Eagles is going to play to this. They're definitely going to have to play very early game focus, try to get some type of lead. Really, I'd say stop Kennen from scaling. You really can't stop Swain from scaling unless you like get 3 kills early.
Yeah.
Like even when Swain's like two deaths down, they're still a good character. You just build more AP than you build tankiness. And then bot lane's just going to be so hard for Mordekaiser to gank. I'm very unsure as the pathing because I haven't seen Mordekaiser jungle in a very long time. It's definitely dive. I just don't know how good it would be into Kennen, Swain, Lulu, Wukong, Xayah.
Well, I'm excited to see this team composition in action.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really interesting playstyle coming out from Post Eagles versus SNHU White's composition. They're really going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. I need to see some magic here.
One thing that I would like to mention is that Post Eagles was playing very defensive in the early game. And this definitely isn't a draft that I think would fit their playstyle. I hope that maybe the comfort pick might lend to some earlier kills and ganks. But yeah, I hope to see some more early stuff, and I definitely think that Post Eagles, if they get ahead, can do a lot. But SNHU's team's looking like 5 gods right now.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to take a short break while you're ready to get into game, waiting for spectator delay. So we'll be back in just a few minutes to check out game number 2 of this set. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back as we get into our second game of the night. SNHU White versus Post Eagles. SNHU up 1. Let's go ahead and hop into game 2 and see how this one's going to play out here. We were very skeptical of Post Eagles draft.
Yeah, I'm still very skeptical in general. This has to be like the best Mordekaiser in the world, though. Like, if you're confident enough to pick one of the worst first pick, you have some cojones.
You really got to worry about Mordekaiser getting countered there. And it's not Mordekaiser top, so there's a little bit less room to actually counter there, but
you still could just pick Olaf.
Yeah, Olaf would do great into this jungle, which is not what we're seeing right now. We're still seeing the Wukong. I still think
it's great.
And Lulu really synergizes great with a lot of characters on this team just by making them bigger.
And in general as well, you just got shields for Xayah and Kennen. Lulu on Kennen's also very underrated in general. Like, Kennen does auto a lot, so getting pixies on those autos are really good. Lulu's just such a safe pick in general. I'm the one lane that I'm worried for SNHU, though. The one thing that I will give to Post is that Malzahar into Swain's probably Malzahar favored. Swain doesn't necessarily have the ability to do anything, and I could see if Mordekaiser does come mid, something happening there. But even then, Swain just has such a massive red panic button of an ult that it's just so hard even then to do a lot. So I'm a bit skeptical into SNHU's team, and with how we saw Post playing the first game, feeling not really early game focused, I'm a bit confused as to why Lucian Nami is being played into Xayah Lulu. And
one of the biggest issues that we had with Post Eagles last game was that they picked a very heavy dive composition and then didn't really find too much value off. They were playing super defensively, right?
Yeah.
And this composition isn't remarkably slower, right? Like, this is also a very fast composition. So I really, really want to see Post Eagles actually play very forward here. And we do see a substitution come up from Post Eagles going into the second game. Coach Denny now on the Post Eagles support. So maybe that can make a difference. Maybe that'll speed them up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Especially going into Lucian Nami immediately off of a substitution. They're going to find an early level 2 here. Arvane's going to take a lot of damage off this. Not quite dead yet, though.
Yeah, that's one thing, is Lucian Nami definitely has Prow in lane, but the one thing with getting Prow in lane is that really stops Mordekaiser. Like, you want to pick Mordekaiser into a team that pushes lanes quite frequently. You do not have the ability to really dive at all, especially with the ult. You want to pick people out when they're in the center of the lane, so it's going to be hard to gank this bot lane, and I definitely see Wukong coming through.
Xayah also has no problems at all farming under turret. That is a great spot for Xayah to be in, right? Like, that is your ultimate. It just makes you so safe, and so when you don't have it, you still want to play pretty safe, because if you get caught out pretty forward, you're kind of dead in the water. So it's definitely not a terrible thing to see Vegan here under turret.
Yeah, it's going to be really scary, because you have the fantasy of Lucian Nami, which is just pushing and pushing to help for early Drakes and to really get that early game out, but you don't really have the follow-up for Mordekaiser at all, because Mordekaiser doesn't really have good objective control, I'd say. It seems like it'd be a bit difficult. You can technically smite objectives through Rift.
We'll see.
So
we'll see Wang starting to come down towards the bot lane here, and his ganks below level 6 are going to be kind of difficult, I think. So it's good that he's down here kind of exerting some pressure. I don't think he's getting swatted out by any wards. I don't think SNHU had me down here, but it's definitely going to be very hard for him to really show up and do a whole lot before he hits level 6. I mean, he might be able to pull you in, and that could matter, but it's definitely his big power spike in terms of ganks is once he gets Death Realm.
Yeah, definitely. And Mordekaiser is running Ghost, though, which I feel like is probably the better summoner spell. But yeah, even if something happens here, I'm very skeptical of really. I feel like they could kill the support, but they're definitely not getting a double kill. Yeah, and then Nami flashes.
Ooh.
Amazing dodge from Lulu. That was great. Yeah, Mordekaiser just didn't have the ability to do anything right there. Did Mordekaiser
popped Ghost too?
Yeah, popped Ghost. That's really scary. And also flash from Coast Danny. They
didn't find any value off that either. They do have a slight CS lead, which is building up in the mid lane.
Yeah.
And in the top lane as well. We're seeing Schwartz and S'mores get into a little bit of a match right here. But S'mores is now in incredibly deep for Cardboard Tank to be right here. And they're just going to be able to hop right on him, getting that stun. First blood going.
And that's such an amazing wave for Kennen right there, getting so much. Yeah, that was definitely good to not let that crash. Very well played by Cardboard.
Yeah, so that's going to really enable Kennen to start to get things rolling here, because once he starts to spike a little bit in team fights, he's going to be a menace. He's just going to fly in there. He's going to CC your whole team, and then SNHU kind of just have free reign to pick who they want to kill.
Kennen's one of those characters that you kind of sleep on until they're picked, and you're like, wow, this is the scariest thing in the entire game. You always, like, every time I'm like, oh, I forgot this character even existed. Wow, I'm terrified now. Kennen's just so good. I just rarely see it played.
He's a scary little guy. I don't think people underestimate him, but you never see people really rush to play Kennen, but he is definitely a force.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary, especially with Kennen being up a kill. Even Kennen average is still really good, but Minar being down is so much worse. So I think that's definitely a great pickup for SNHU. One thing that I'd definitely be interested in is what type of mythics the ADCs are going to choose this game. I feel like Air Force is going to be really good for Xayah into this game, but Lucian needs to get ahead. Like, you really need this Lucian ahead, because if they have Immortal Shield Bow, you're not going to be winning any team fights.
And let's not leave any room for doubt. Lucian is ahead. This CS lead that is building in the bot lane is becoming problematic as the game continues forward and Lucian continues to go at this pace. We're seeing, I believe that is Wang in the bot lane, or actually Cardboard as he starts to come on through. Chromesu's in a little bit of a tough spot right now, and we could see something here as Cardboard starts to go in. Under turret, though. Wang starts to show up, maybe looking for a counter gank right here. SNHU don't have vision of him. They don't know he's orbiting around the area. We'll see if they really find too much here. If Wang pushes up into river, it could be a little scary. Those isolated Qs can do quite a bit of damage.
Ooh.
We're not seeing too much.
This is scary. Wang isn't level 6, so that's the one good part. They might try to steal Scuttle.
Ooh.
Goes for a pull. I think they were able to get that one.
Just a little bit of extra gold.
Yeah, just a little bit extra. But yeah, nothing really coming out from Mordekaiser right there. I'd honestly be really scared if I were post bot lane. You've wasted so many sums. Both flashes down, heal down as well on Lucian. It's just not really a lot that post can do. They do have a high CS lead, but if Cardboard were to path back down, that would be a scary situation.
The big thing that's just really, really unfortunate about Mordekaiser ganks is nothing stops you from just walking away from him.
Yeah.
Right? Even when he hits level 6, he still has to get close to you to use his ultimate here. Cardboard can try and make a play up here found by S'mores, but he's going to hop back to safety. No ward up there, so they don't know he's in the area, but we'll see SNHU's bot lane recalling. Vegan's going back to pick up some items, and Rarvain up in the mid lane.
Looks like there might be a gank topside.
Cardboard just hovering around that area up there. I think he's just trying to kind of apply a little bit of pressure. If he does find an opportunity to get in, then it's a dead Gnar, but we'll see.
Yeah, and it looks like Mordekaiser's going for Rift Herald maybe. There might be a fight in the top side right now. Dragon is up, though, so that is one thing to look for. Yeah, but I would be scared. Level 6 is, oh my god.
He ulted the clone.
Oh my god, and he's just dead.
That is so sad, yeah. He's gone. Sleeping with the fishes in the river now, and that's going to be a Rift Herald for SNHU. That is another unfortunate thing about Mordekaiser into this composition right here, is you really got to have some trigger discipline going into Wukong.
Yeah, definitely. And that ult is now completely wasted. You don't have it up for the next little bit, so... Yeah, and that death coming through and the Rift Herald coming out, that also sets up SNHU to get Drake as well. SNHU has all ults up except for Kennen's, and Mordekaiser ult, which is probably the most important ult, is down. Rift Herald's coming out mid, and I could see SNHU rotating bot maybe for the pressure. Looks like they're just going to try to get the plates on the tower, though.
And that's definitely worth it, to get Spoon ahead and start to get some money there for Swain. They're going to get 2 turret plates off of that. We see post around there. The bot lane is actually up in the mid lane right now, as Coach Jenny is up here, and that's going to be a bubble onto that, as well as the Malzahar with the flash being forced out to get away from the Mordekaiser pull. Cardboard's in the area. Spoon in a rough spot, tried to turn, but now just taking a ton of damage. Coach Jenny is going to pick up that kill. Cardboard and Rarvain just going to try and escape. Get out of there.
That was quite unfortunate positioning right there, and that stopped the Drake, which is very good for Post's team. Looks like Mordekaiser's still pushing into Wukong's red side. Yeah, it seems like in general, Post is going to try to get the most off of that kill as possible, and they really need to.
SNHU do have a slight gold lead right now. The CS difference in the bot lane is still pretty drastic as Chromzu continues to farm out of his mind. The rest of the lanes, much closer to even. Cardboard here is lagging a little bit behind in CS, but has gotten an assist for his team, so definitely a little bit more actual impact on the board right now. We'll see as Post try and get their bearings right now. Dragon is up, and that's going to become a big talking point very soon as SNHU and Post Eagles really look to try and find that. Shorts could be in danger, though. Wang's up here. He's got Death Realm. I'm not sure if you want to do that on the Kennen, though.
The only problem, though, is there's such a huge stacked wave top lane. It's just going to be... Kennen's not going to be able to push this out to really be in a good position for Mordekaiser to gank. Ult out from Lucian Nami. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a dead...
Maybe not. Maybe not. Rarvane's able to escape, and that is huge. That is a lot of investment from Post right there. Crumbs using both of his sums. Can't escape now as SNHU might be looking to go under turret. Cardboard going to try and go into Denny, but forces him to flash on out. That is all 4 sums down in the bot lane. SNHU not finding a kill off of that, but definitely not giving up a kill there is huge.
Yeah, that's honestly the best part of this. Like, Xayah's perfectly fine even, but Lucian needs to be ahead. Like, needs to be ahead to actually be useful in this comp. Especially going into a Wukong and a Lulu. Yeah, it's going to be so hard, and SNHU is definitely going to be able to pick up this Drake. Mordekaiser really isn't in position. A lot of the team isn't set up to help right there. Oh.
And Spoon might just pick up a solo kill here on Rheinite. That's going to be a dead Malzahar. Wang going in, not going to steal it this time, though. SNHU are ready for that. Cardboard able to escape. I'm trying at least. Wang pushing up close. Does have Death Realm. Not going to spend it. A lot of low health targets, but just maybe a little bit out of range to actually lock him in.
Yeah, that was amazing play by SNHU, having perfect macro sense, being able to get out that Drake. There's so many sums wasted in bot lane. SNHU slowly getting a lead. Even with the CS diff bot lane, SNHU is still ahead in gold off of only 2 kills. So yeah, I'd definitely be a bit scared going into the future if I were Post.
Again, Lucian might be 900 gold ahead. Xayah does not care that much, though. I mean, Xayah can just farm very safely late into the game if she does end up getting behind. So that's not a terribly bad threat for SNHU right now. But they will have to worry about this Lucian Nami in the short term because those bubbles have been hitting, and those picks have been very, very dangerously close to actually being pulled off here. Post Eagles only have 1 kill on the board, but they've definitely gotten pretty close to getting more than that.
Yeah, that was absolutely an amazing escape by Lulu. Like, that is exactly what you want to see from SNHU, playing as safe as possible and really going in for engages when you see that Post has made an overextension.
In the top lane right now, Schwartz is doing a great job at just establishing a lot of poke damage, right? Because that's a big thing that Kennen can really do into this matchup here. S'mores is he's going to be able to push the wave pretty quickly, but Kennen's going to get pushed back, and we're going to see a little bit of an engage in the bot lane here as Chromzu tries to go in. Cardboard blast cones on over, though, and he's starting to make his presence known as he goes in, knocking up Chromzu. He's going to be dead as Cardboard is able to take him down. Denny is next up as Cardboard so close to taking this. Looks like he didn't want to give it up, but just had to secure it right there. Cardboard finding a double kill.
Absolutely amazing play by SNHU. Lulu being able to get out twice. This is why you see Lulu Xayah as a counter to Lucian Nami. You know, there's not a lot that you can do as Lucian in this situation with Lulu ult and all the shields that come out. It's just difficult to play this lane.
No objectives up for a little bit right now, so pretty much just sitting back, farming, trying to play safe, trying not to get picked off right now for SNHU. They've got a 2k gold lead, and they're in a good position to actually hold on to it right now as they continue to win out in a lot of these fights. I'd be a little bit scared if I'm Swoon right now, right? It's definitely going to try and peek up, trying to interrupt that recall. We're also seeing Wang start to go up towards the top lane. Mordekaiser up there could be a little scary, but I don't know how afraid of that Schwartz actually is. He's 2 levels up, and Kennen can definitely hold his own.
If Kennen top counters Mordekaiser top, I don't know. I think Kennen top probably counters Mordekaiser jungle.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser really has to be in a position to gank someone that he can actually kill, and I feel like with a full health Kennen with ult up, you can't do a lot. Like, it's going to be difficult to really play the game. And Mordekaiser definitely isn't at an item spike that they need. Like, they have Rylai's, but they don't have anything else. They also bought refillables. Not exactly sure why, but...
An important thing, though, is that Mordekaiser is farming pretty well. Right?
Yeah.
Wang is getting a good amount of clear right now, and we're just seeing another engage in the bot lane right now. I'm not sure how lethal this one will be, but Rarvane looking pretty low is going to be forced to pop ult on themselves, but it's Chromzu who dies. Vegan now trying to go in for even more. Denny on the run. Rarvane got to be a little bit scared right there. Going to force the flash out. Vegan
that was
not going to go in any further.
That was great play by Vegan right there. Knowing exactly when to go in. When, okay. All right. I guess that. Okay. Yeah, Nami pushed up a little bit too far, didn't look out for those feathers. Almost a solo kill in the top lane right there. Absolutely amazing play by Vegan. That was insane. Being able to synergize perfectly with Lulu right there with the polymorph.
Ooh. That's dead.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I'm going to be so scared if I'm post Eagle at this point.
It is, you got to be extremely conscious of playing into SNHU's team. You got to be extremely conscious of threat circles, right? Because a lot of these characters just control so much space around them, and it really feels like post Eagles aren't adequately respecting that here. We're going to see Riftchild get dropped up here in the top lane, and probably going to be able to actually take this turret. There is with turret plates down, this is just going to blow it up. And that's going to be first turret.
Even with Mordekaiser up, I still think that SNHU definitely has the ability to get this dragon. Like, it looks like Lulu did die, so they definitely are going to be able to pick up the dragon now. But yeah, that's only one objective down, and you saw
Riftchild's still pushing top. He's going to get a charge on the tier 2 turret.
You saw the power of, Kennen just in that lane. It's going to be scary, especially with almost everyone on SNHU having shut down.
Yeah, definitely. It's great that Post Eagles actually got that dragon, though, because that is exactly the kind of objective control they need to really start to force their way back in here. Spoon's got to worry about this turret, which is getting pretty low from these constant waves crashing into it, and Post Eagles look like they're really looking to try and start pressuring around that area.
Yeah.
Look at the tier 2 in top lane. It's so low.
Yeah,
you're so low on health.
You're going to be able to get this tier 2 probably in the next couple waves. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Kennen just goes for that. Other than that, mid tower is at, half health. Oh, amazing grab by Swain right there. We might see...
Decent amount of damage.
Yeah, that was a decent amount of damage.
Gonna force Ryan back a little bit.
Mordekaiser is in mid lane.
We'll see what he tries to do right
but
here.
Swain's roaming up. Maybe they're going to try to get this top tower right now.
I think that's really smart of them, too. If they open up this top turret, then things are going to become very difficult in terms of lane priority.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard, especially with Kennen being able to roam around the map a lot easier. It's going to allow Kennen to... It's only 18 minutes. It's going to allow Kennen to do so much in mid lane. And you already see Xayah Lulu so far ahead. This ult just seems like some type of a desperate play. A good CC chain, but Lulu ult's just going to stop that engage before it even started.
It's just so hard to find a kill in the bot lane. Just because of Lulu Xayah is such a hard to kill lane. They are so slippery and just have more health than you would expect from a lot of their ways that they can negate damage. And the fights with them are not quick and they're not easy. Wang could potentially get caught out right here. This could be an issue right now. He's going to try and take Cardboard into the Death Realm, though. We'll see. He uses his Q on the clone, though, and Cardboard's able to pick up that kill.
Amazing.
Winning out on that duel. That's the 9th kill for SNHU in 19 minutes. We'll see in bot lane once again. It looks like an engagement's starting to come out, but very quickly things begin to turn again. Bubble goes wide. Vegan doesn't get hit. SNHU are doing a great job of controlling all of these lanes right now.
Yeah, SNHU doing a great job at keeping their tempo into this game and also not letting Post really get anything going into the future. It's something to watch out for, but 2 tower shots on Vegan right now. Could see Chromzu trying to engage right here. Ult isn't up, but it looks like a Q could come out. Xayah ult is up, so this could be big, but it looks like Vegan missed the ult pull just barely. Ignite coming through, but barely not killing, and a Nami auto will secure that. Lulu has to flash. Will get hit by Nami ult under tower, just barely not dying.
Staying alive, but Vegan won't, unfortunately. This mid lane turret's going down very soon for SNHU right now. But Spoon does have a pretty significant gold lead over Ryanite here. He's been able to find quite a lot of value around the map right now. Schwartz showing up in the bot lane, though. See the TP come through the moment he walks into that bush, and he's out. Nothing to worry about there.
Yeah, immediately out right there. One thing that I'd like to mention as well, even if Vegan did die, Chromzu didn't get the shutdown. It was Nami, and that's kind of bad. Nami doesn't really do a lot of damage with increased items. They're a very utility-based character, so their stats don't do a lot, and getting these items won't really do anything. Looks like a Dark Seal is picked up on Nami.
That could be scary. Could be a lot more damage than you might expect.
Why? What?
We'll see. We'll see. Schwartz is popping up in the top lane, though. He really doesn't want to lose this turret after establishing the lane that he has, and we'll see. I mean, he's pretty much able to run down Wang right now. It's a pretty big shield coming out, but Mordekaiser doesn't really have any ways to escape from this right now. He kind of just has to fight, and unfortunately, the stat check didn't go through.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, Kennen counters top lane, and Cardboard is going to be able to pick up Nami roaming a little bit too far into their own jungle. Sad to see. Yeah, it's going to be a bit weird. And you also see Mordekaiser doesn't even have their mythic yet.
Yeah, it's been a tough game for him right now. It's just really hard to find value on a lot of these death realms, on a lot of these characters. I wouldn't say that there's really a single character on SNHU that can't survive a one-on-one with Mordekaiser right now. Even Rarvane, right? Like, it might be a little bit tricky, but we've seen Rarvane survive much scarier.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be really hard for Mordekaiser to do anything into this comp. Like, maybe when 5v5 team fights come out, they can maybe ult a big player and then just die, but the problem is that character will be let out, and I don't know if Lucian Nami has the proper engage to be able to follow up while that carry's taken out of the game. And then you also have like 3 other characters that are also really good carries. It's going to be really hard.
Here comes Wang. He does have Death Realm here. He lost the one-on-one with Cardboard last time, so he probably isn't feeling too confident about really trying to take out the jungler right here. No Blast Cone either, so no easy way into the Dragon Pit, and SNHU are going to continue to just pull the Dragon back even more. It doesn't really look like there's a way for the Eagles to get in here and contest this, so it's going to be second Drake going over to SNHU.
That right there is a terrifying Drake for SNHU. Cloud Drake on Swain, Xayah, Wukong, Kennen, especially on Kennen, like, even if it wasn't good on anyone else, just having a Cloud Drake on Kennen, that's way better than even like an Infernal Drake on like Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Like, that's terrifying.
It's just going to give SNHU so much control in these team fights, which you really got to be scared about. We do see Ryanite in the top lane right now, and there could be a gank coming out up there as Cardboard starts to make his way up. We'll see if they actually manage to catch up to him. I think they expect him to go up into the crevice up there, but did not quite happen. Vegan going to pop his ult just to get those feathers out. Will be able to root Lucian. Wave goes wide. Teleport coming through from Schwartz. About to show up in the middle of things here, and he's right on top of him. He's just blowing him up. That is 2 for Schwartz. And it's going to see, we're going to see Wang start to come on in here trying to shut down Vegan. Death Realm coming through as he tries to get in here. Actually, He's in there with Vegan right now. He almost lost the one-on-one. Vegan almost took that. We'll see if Wang's able to find too much more, but Schwartz is going to be able to pick
I would
up
be
that kill.
so scared of Schwartz.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
6 kills, 6-0.
6-0
I'd buy a Dark Seal. With a cull. With a cull. I don't know why the cull's still there, but with a cull.
It's nostalgic. The cull.
Yeah.
You got to hang on to it for old time's sake.
you have to keep the cull. Yeah, I think that Dark Seal on Nami definitely did a lot, I'd say. Yeah. So far into the game, I think that has been, that's really what's taken post throughout this game.
It's just unfortunate when Nami picks up those kills, right? Like, what are you going to use that gold on?
What do you? I'm
going to buy so many control wards.
Anything else?
I'm going to buy so many control wards.
Buying a control ward is probably better.
Show me Redemption.
Yes.
Show me Redemption.
That would be good.
Show me Knight's Vow.
That would be good. Mikhail's?
Yeah.
I would actually, I think Mikhail's probably a good option because that would be good into Schwartz. I think that Mikhail's might be a decent option if you can actually use active properly, which Mikhail's is kind of a difficult active to use, but yeah, it's just going to be really hard as the game keeps going forward, and Mordekaiser just got Jack Show. I don't know if that's going to help.
See, Spoon dodging the E, going to get the root there on the Mordekaiser. Not a great target to engage on there, but that's still fine. Everything's going pretty okay for them right now. They just need to kind of sit back, farm, continue to compound this lead that they've got going forward right here.
However,
if SNHU Death Ball right now, there's not a lot that Post Eagles can do into it.
Yes, I definitely agree. However, I'd like to mention that Lucian now has Essence Reaver, which is a huge power spike, but still it's a problem if Lucian has a character into the rest of these characters.
Yeah.
So I think it might be able to pick if they are able to do like a crazy Mordekaiser flank onto Kennen or something.
If Kennen is in the same hemisphere as Lucian, I don't think Lucian lives.
Yeah, I don't think you saw literally just a solo double kill from just Kennen.
Yeah.
Onto Lucian Nami. Like, it's so hard to exist as an ADC, especially when your team doesn't have a lot of peel for you. Like, the one good part about Jarvan was that, like, you can be tanky and you can hit EQ, you know?
Yeah.
But Mordekaiser isn't tanky, and EQ isn't really that good. And everyone can kill you in your ult. It's just going to be a hard situation to be in. There aren't really a lot of pick options as well. You have Malzahar ult, but Malzahar has kind of just been playing really passive. They do have insane farm, highest in the game. Oh, engage coming out on Lucian. Yeah, that's just immediately dead. Just so much damage from that Kennen.
And that's what's going to be really hard about Lucian. We saw even with the dash, even with the Gale Force, still not able to escape. SNHU are so sticky right now. And if they get onto these priority targets, there's not a lot that Post Eagles can do to really disengage from them, aside from like Coach Denny throwing out a wave, right?
Yeah, there's not really a lot.
If Gnar is in the area, he can use his ult, but that's also not a great disengage. It's a good ult for turning things, but it's not a great disengage.
I feel like Syndra would have been really good. I feel like that disengage would have helped, and also the pick potential of Syndra with like Lucian. Like if they get a pick sideline, that definitely can snowball.
I like that a lot more than Malzahar in this composition.
And it was open. It seems like Post really needs to like try to get the game rolling again. Like they have to get some picks into this game to really survive, and they have potential to a little bit. Like you have Mordekaiser ult. Gnar we haven't really seen anything out of. Gnar is definitely a game changer. We haven't talked a lot about Gnar this game, but yeah, a crazy ult coming through onto SNHU's carries could enable Lucian to do a lot. It's just really the level of skill you need to succeed with Post draft is a lot harder than the level of skill you need to succeed with SNHU's draft. With SNHU's draft, you just have to press the ult buttons. With Post, you have to get amazing positioning, great timings, and a lot of luck as well. So it's just very hard, and looks like SNHU is going to be able to take down that dragon. And another Cloud Drake is going to be absolutely terrifying. Like, Kennen ult is just going to be up so much along with Wukong ult. Like, even if you don't get Soul here, it doesn't matter. Like, it's so scary, and SNHU is just going to go for Baron. There's really no way that Post in the current state can fight this. They really just have to hope that they can, stop sieging on the tower.
The difficult thing about playing into SNHU right now is they're doing a very smart thing of just remaining clumped together. You can't get picked off if you're clumped always. We're going to see Post Eagles start to try and engage right here. The wave comes out. Being going to pop the ultimate there. Not going to have it for later, which could be important, but
they're getting poked down, and Malzahar ult will come out.
That's big.
Amazing shutdown onto Kennen. This might be the turn that Post needs. Cardboard is going to be down. Looks like Vegan will not be able to kill the Gnar. Getting pushed into blue side, not in an advantageous position, and Spoons is just going to be able to get picked up. Swain ult is good, though, and it will be able to keep them alive for a long time, but not against Lucian Mordekaiser. Lucian is getting insanely low, though. Yeah. That was an amazing shutdown onto Lucian. Lucian was able to pick up a lot of gold there.
What a turn from Post Eagles right there. They found a fantastic entry into that fight, and they really knew exactly when to take it. It was a great thing they collapsed when they did. They forced the Xayah ult out immediately, which was so huge, because if that was used in that team fight, that could have rooted so many people. That could completely change the game. But forcing Vegan to pop it to survive very early on, very, very scary. And look at the gold difference now. It is 1K gold difference. That was a 6K gold difference before that fight.
There were so many shutdowns that came onto Post. Like, it was absolutely amazing play by Post. One thing that I'd also like to highlight about that fight is you saw Rhyknight actually silencing Kennen, which is, I think, what allowed them to do that. Like, the silence into the Malzahar ult stopped Kennen's ult, and then you just saw Mordekaiser come down with his massive hammer onto Kennen's very tiny furry head.
Yeah, and he just went splat on the ground.
Yeah.
There was not a lot he could have done right there. And that is a little bit of the strength of Post Eagles composition, right? Is when they're able to just run at your front line, 5 versus 5, just slamming bodies into each other, they can do something good there.
Yeah.
When they're able to actually target everyone on your team at once, that is great. That is the only time SNHU you've given them the opportunity to do that, though.
Yeah.
And I think that is that's definitely a big error on their part. And just allowing Post Eagles to take the fight on their own terms, because their ultimates can definitely really cut out the big influential members of SNHU right there. Like we saw the ultimate used on Kennen to suppress him that is just so scary.
Yeah.
SNHU really need to try and take fights on their terms as opposed to the other way around. And I think that was maybe just a little bit of overconfidence.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a bit of overconfidence. Really, you want Kennen to be in a bush in that situation. You want Kennen to come for a flank after Malzahar uses their ult, or get some type of item onto Kennen that allows them to get out of that. Zanya's might be a good option in the future. But yeah, it's definitely a scary option for Kennen. So yeah, you really want to have Kennen on that flank for that. And Swain seemed like they didn't pop ult quick enough. It was just a bit of mismanage. And it was perfect silence coming out from that Malzahar. Reinite playing that onto Kennen was exactly what Post needed to push this.
Now, SNH, you need to worry about this turret right here, because Post Eagles are going to siege this pretty hard. Cardboard and Schwartz are here, so that could potentially be something, but Ryanite's also pressuring the mid lane turret, which is really going to split up SNHU. Schwartz very far in there, and we're going to see the wave come out from Coach Jane just a little bit wide. Bubble not going to hit either. Pole doesn't hit. Schwartz is out of there. He's home free. Post Eagles will get out with a turret.
Yeah, they will be able to get out there. I think that definitely Post has better siege. But the problem is, once they lose Baron, I'm not really sure what they can do. Dragon's not going to be up for a while, so they're going to lose Baron before that, and they're not really going to have the waves in the right state by that point. So it's just really a hope that Post can make the most of this and get enough objective bounties to really mean something in a fight. And the sad thing is that Malzahar didn't get any of the big shutdowns, which is really the carry of your team right now.
Yeah, you really got to worry about that. Spoon able to get away from that Mordekaiser pull. That could have been very scary if that changed otherwise there. But with Dragon up in 30 seconds, Post Eagles are starting to kind of make a nice little home down here. Starting to get some vision up just a little bit, but SNHU are doing a good job at already starting to clear that out, starting to make their way down towards the Dragon Pit. That's going to be a big deal for them. Taking out that Blast Cone takes a little bit of SNHU's movement options away, changes the way they can actually approach this. But if SNHU play their cards right, Post Eagles are a little bit split right now.
Oh, that's a great pick on the Schmores right there. Decent damage, not really any follow-up off of that, though. One thing is that Kennen has ult, and Wukong has ult, and Swain has ult, and Zai has ult. Everyone in the game has ult.
The main thing you got to worry about is Kennen ult getting interrupted by Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
Right? Death Realm is going to really mess up Schwartz if he's able to get caught out by that. So he needs to come at an angle for that Mordekaiser isn't at.
You just have to jump onto Lucian or Malzahar. That's like the major thing. They're doing a really good job zoning SNHU. Great ult, though, but the Polymorph is going to be an amazing option. Drake was taken. Kennen is being bursted down right there. Cardboard is being bursted down right now, but Reinite is going to be picked up by that Kennen. And you do see Yang just trying to fight 1v1 with Spoon, and it doesn't seem to be going in the direction. Swain just has so much lifesteal. Even with the flank from Danny and S'mores, it's not going to be a lot. Swain is still alive. Still alive, and Kennen ult just comes out right now. Amazing E by Zaya right there. All of SNHU is looking really low. This might be a chance for Post to turn it.
And they're going to be able to pick up that pick onto Rarvane. Schwartz just trying to escape in time. That's a triple kill from Post Eagles right now, and they have taken the gold lead. That has been a while since they have had a gold lead right now. And they also picked up Dragon, which is going to be great for them, mostly just because they deny it from SNHU, who are on Soul Point. They're going to get another turret right here. They might even be able to get a good bit of damage onto this inhibitor turret, but things are currently looking up Post Eagles. That was a really great team fight for them. It was a little bit more scrambly, and they still managed to come out on top, which is a great thing.
Yeah, that Baron fight might be exactly what Post needed. They were able to get that Drake so well, being set up for it beforehand, just barely having the Rave Prio, so SNHU didn't get there in time. And it seemed like they were able to get a very good flank off right there. It was just such a hard situation for SNHU to be in when they were split like that. It was just a very difficult fight.
We'll see now. Post Eagles Able to go back, pick up some items here. Gold difference is starting to become a little bit of a problem as SNHU fall behind even more. Post Eagles, all they need to do now is just play safe, right? But they've had an issue with getting picked off all game. SNHU, if they're able to find something big, then that could potentially change things up. But we're starting to get a little bit to the late game right now, and Ryan Knight, level 18, just kind of hovering around this area. He's definitely a scary person to just bump into.
And that's the one good thing with Post's team right now is that Rhynite is such a threatening force, and it doesn't look like you have any abilities to deal with Malzahar. You don't have a QSS. You don't have Zanyas on anyone. So Malzahar is just going to be able to pick whoever they need, and then Mordekaiser is going to be able to have their way with them. Mordekaiser Q does insane damage right now. Demonic Embrace coming out, and the build that Mordekaiser is running is some insane AP damage because you have Jack Show, which is a lot, and then Demonic Embrace gives more AP based on health. And Rylai's gives 500 health. It's going to be a lot coming out. It's just really scary for SNHU right now. The hope was that they were able to get Baron, but SNHU doesn't necessarily scale as Rhynite does. The hard part, though, is that SNHU does have some crazy ult, so they should be able to get a pick into the game coming into the next couple of fights. It's just the part of SNHU needs to play this very carefully.
We'll see Post Eagles starting to group up around the mid lane here. SNHU just trying to find some room to farm right now, but could potentially find themselves getting collapsed on as Rarvain and Eat the Vegan going to be in a little bit of a tough spot. That bubble going through is going to be a very dead Lulu cardboard. Able to escape, able to get them to spend a little bit of stuff on his clone right there, but now they're going to start to make their way up towards Baron. And if they find this again, this siege could be brutal.
And SNHU is in a hard spot. Really, SNHU wants objective control, but they don't really have it. They might be able to get a pick onto Coach Danny, but it doesn't seem like it. Everyone is here, though, so this could be an amazing flank by Kennen, but it doesn't seem like they are going to have that ability. Wukong could get a steal, but amazing ult from Gnar right there is just going to allow Post to pick up Baron. Cardboard is just immediately taking down along with Schwartz, not being able to ult, and Schmorz just barely didn't die.
That's 4 dead players for SNHU right now. Spoon trying to escape here, but this push from Post could be devastating right now.
Yeah.
A lot of players from SNHU are off the field for another half minute right now, and they're going to start to make their progress up towards this inhibitor turret. Wang getting harassed a little bit here by Spoon, just trying to make his presence known up front. Not a lot of super front-loaded damage here from SNHU, and Spoon is definitely not going to be able to hold them off as they push through the inhibitor turret, about to take the inhibitor itself. The rest of SNHU still 20 seconds from respawning right here. They could definitely take a Nexus turret in this time. They're staying pretty long, which could be dangerous if SNHU push back in, but the 10 seconds still remaining on a lot of them here. The second Nexus turret down. We'll see Spoon start to go in here, but he gets suppressed. A lot of them hopping in on him. He's going to get taken out here. The Nexus is just getting slowly whittled away. There's not much SNHU can do in that position. Post just doing a great job at stabilizing in that game, taking a lot of really great fights on their own terms, which I really like the way they played in this game. It seemed like they really just kind of synchronized play style with composition in this game, which they failed to do in the first one. But this time it seems like there was really a point where it just clicked and they were all online.
Yeah, it was really hard for SNHU after they got that Baron to really engage on any objectives. You don't really have the ability to do that, especially with Malzahar ult and no items to really get rid of Malzahar. Ult at that time. You didn't have a QSS, you didn't have Zanyas, so Kennen getting picked out in that first fight was really unfortunate. And then it just seemed like after that, Post snowballed, and SNHU didn't really have that positional advantage that they needed to get their draft working.
Yeah, a super close game and a pretty big upset from the way that game was looking to turn out from the start.
Yep.
We'll see exactly how this resolves in game number 3. I'm really excited to see which team is able to take this. This is going to be pretty close, I feel. Neck and neck, both teams so far 1-1. 1 game left in the set. We'll be back after a short break. See you in just a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to SNHU Esports. We're getting into our third game of the night, the final match of this best of 3 set between SNHU White and Post Eagles. First game looked really good for SNHU. Yep. Second game was a huge comeback for Post Eagles.
Yeah, that was a great comeback. SNHU just like they got a little too cocky in that Baron play, and then just from there it snowballed, and they didn't have the late game to really counter Malzahar or any items in general to counter that ult, and that just took out an entire character. It's a 4v5 at that point. You can't do a lot.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough downfall in that second game, so hopefully we're looking for SNHU to punch back pretty hard in this third game and really give Post Eagles a run for their money. Let's go ahead and hop into draft now and see what we're looking at for game number 3 as we're about to finish out our first wave of bans.
Asol and Thresh, I think, are fine bans. Thresh, we haven't seen Thresh. It wasn't played in first game, but they probably definitely have a Thresh player. And
it's been banned every game, so yeah.
Yeah, so Nocturne also as well. I think Nocturne's a great ban.
Finally, the Xayah ban comes out from Post Eagles.
Yeah, Xayah ban is pretty good, I'd say. It's going to have to make SNHU draft a bit differently. I would love to see a Caitlyn. Draven, if it can be piloted well, I'd love to see. Really anything can work. All ADCs are kind of good right now. Zeri's good. Interesting.
Vi first pick. All right.
Vi isn't really counterable, so yeah, Vi's kind of just too basic of a character to really have good counters.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like to see that come out first. I know it's a big play for Cardboard, a big character he plays. So we'll see. Post Eagles first pick Mordekaiser again. I'm still not in love with the first pick Mordekaiser, especially after last game. But Veigar could be a problem coming through here.
Veigar's really scary.
No Annie ban.
No Annie ban. I'd pick up Annie then.
I would definitely grab Annie here if I'm SNHU White.
Yeah, I would save bot lane to really get that counter pick that they need. I'd go Annie, and then I'd maybe do like a safer top laner that could really do something good with Vi. Xerath? Ooh.
Okay. Sure.
I think Xerath is fine. I'm still just scared about the Annie. Annie was open.
It feels like such a bad thing to leave the Annie out, especially when the Annie performed pretty well in that first game.
Well, they already did pick their mid laner, so it's not like they're going to pick Annie.
Yeah.
But it just feels bad to not pick it. Is there a Lux? Alright, SNHU seems like they're drafting a poke comp right now. But they don't have Caitlyn, so that definitely forces Post to ban Caitlyn, which really the only other ADC that Lux works well with is probably Ezreal. So you're already pushing your bot lane into a set comp.
We could see Ezreal if Conair is in the ADC this game. That is a long-time main of his, so
yeah,
we'll see.
It really depends. It's okay, Misfortune. I am not sure about that Misfortune pick, but I think that with Veigar Cage, it's pretty good. And definitely Post has a lot of objective control right now. I feel like you could do a lot to counter Misfortune, and I think that Misfortune isn't particularly good into Ezreal. Caitlyn ban, as expected.
We'll see what SNHU clap back with as they start their second wave of bans. I'm interested to see exactly what they want to take out from Post Eagles composition here.
I'd probably full sweep supporter top. I'd full sweep top to just get a good carry top.
Jack's ban comes through. That's going to be good just to stop Post Eagles from getting that really strong top lane carry. They know it's a Mordekaiser jungle at this point, just because that's what was played last game. I guess they could always flex it, but it's most likely going to be a Mordekaiser jungle.
But Mordekaiser is also so counterable top that doesn't really matter.
That's true. But do you really want to invest the top laner?
Banning Ashe, I think, Ashe is really good, especially to be able to spot out Mordekaiser ganks. It's a very good ban from Post. A little bit concerned about SNHU so far. They're going to have to pick something pretty good right now, or else they're going to be in a tough situation.
It's worth noting Ashe also did just get buffed to try and make her a better ADC. I'm not sure exactly how effective that buff has been, but maybe it's something to consider. We've seen Gnar.
Ban's fine. Yeah.
I like that. I think that the Gnar last game definitely came online at a certain point and really impacted some team fights in a big way once he actually was able to really get in there.
Leona. Okay, definitely a heavy CC comp for Post Eagles. Heavy CC, especially with Vagar. I'd love to see some type of character that can kite really easily, some type of ADC that could do that and also synergize well with Lux. There are a couple that work. And definitely for top lane, you have to probably pick a carry in this game just because no other lane's going to be doing good. It's solo AP Zerek, Cassante. Cassante's good. Cassante's fine.
I like Cassante. Yeah, I think that's a
Cassante's
good
fine.
pick.
Because that also basically does the same thing as Mordekaiser. You can pull someone out of a team fight with that. And you also have a very good prio top lane. You can't really die unless you make some type of misplay.
I'm getting overwhelmed right here. I saw the Braum pop up first, and I was like, huh?
Oh, did they change Hecarim's splash art?
Jhin.
I
like that. I like that. That synergizes with the Lux.
That synergizes with Vi. Ornn.
They're locking in the Ornn. The Ornn is safe. I mean, it's decent. It'll work here. It's more CC that they're able to play into. I think that post Eagles, I mean, they've really got one solution to a lot of team fights, right? Which is just to hit it with a big CC hammer.
Yeah.
And that could work out pretty well for them here. It's going to be up to SNHU White to actually try and play around that CC. They're going to have to be very smart about the engagements they take against this team, because any bad engagement is going to be punished 10 times harder because of the amount of CC.
Yeah, SNHU is really going to have to play this as poke and safe as possible. They're going to have to try to not get hurt early at all, which it seems like Post Eagles hasn't been really doing any big early plays. So I think that SNHU can probably poke down. And scaling-wise, I think that it's going to be a bit difficult for SNHU. You know, you got Vygar Ornn, but I do think that you can do a lot. Vygar only has single target damage because ult is really the name of the game.
Yeah.
And then Ornn doesn't particularly have a very good ornament to give out. Vygar usually gets Ludens, which is like a mid-tier ornament, and then Misfortune, it's also probably going to be a mid-tier ornament. So it's not necessarily the scariest, but definitely Ornn's CC button with the ult is going to be a bit terrifying.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how SNHU White try and play around this composition. They have got a lot of ways to do it, but they really need to execute hard on this. It's going to be a difficult matchup skill-wise for SNHU White, but definitely one I think they can achieve if they really push through. We're going to take a quick break while you're to get into our third and final game of the night. This is it. Do or die for both of these teams. Come back in just a few minutes. Hello and welcome back as we're going to go into our third and final game of the night, SNHU White versus Post Eagles. Do or die for both these teams. Let's go ahead and hop into the game. Get this started. Interesting team compositions from both sides right here. SNHU definitely looking to play their range against Post Eagles here.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I'd like to mention is that once Post saw Vi, they basically assumed SNHU was going to go into a dive comp. And the thing with that is that there's Jin, Lux, and Xerath. And Jin doesn't want to dive.
They did
Lux
not go with the dive comp. It was a good, I think it was a good champ select bait.
Yeah.
And it worked out pretty well for them here. I think SNHU definitely have a pretty good situation on their hands where Post Eagles don't have the greatest engage, really, and SNHU can do a great job of just sort of keeping them out. However, Post Eagles definitely can control a lot of space, and that is a big thing for them right here. If SNHU, if any of them step out of line, that's going to be a very dead character. As Post Eagles, they are all just going to collapse on you, and that's going to be a lot of CC and a lot of hyper-focused damage on just one person who steps out of line. They're going to be very dead.
And here's the thing with Vi as well. Even though they drafted anti-engage, you're still a good character. You just are secondary engage. Like, if they dive onto you, you just ult the person that's engaging onto Jin. Like, you are literally a CC bot to keep your Jin alive. Or Xerath. Either or. Like, you play a defensive Vi game. You rush tank Vi. You play safe. Like, you don't want to go for the Chemtech start. You don't want to go for any of that weird stuff. You just want to keep your laners safe. And that's the name of the game right now.
I'd like seeing the Cassante up top, and I definitely think the top lane is going to be much more relevant this game. Ornn is generally a very safe pick because a lot of people just can't kill Ornn. It is very hard to kill Ornn. Cassante could, and that is that's going to make top lane so relevant in this matchup right here. If Schwartz is able to find an early solo kill onto S'mores, that will totally change the landscape of the game. However, if he doesn't, Cassante is going to fall off exceptionally fast.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. However, Cassante does basically have a Mordekaiser ult. Like, you can't just take someone out of the fight completely. So if Vygar gets too ahead, just ult Vygar against the wall, and then you're fine. And that's really what I'd like to see come out from Cassante if it gets later in the game. However, I would like to mention something about Cassante. Ornn technically can win into Cassante. However, Ornn did not pick the right runes for that. Ornn has insane burst damage early, crazy percent health. If you run Ignite, if you play Ornn like they can actually kill Cassante, you 100% can, but it's really hard to actually pull off, and I've only seen a couple of Ornn mains actually be able to do that, so I'd expect Cassante to win this lane.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big priority target, and that's why we see Wang around the top side as well. Schwartz is already back to pick up some items here. CS is pretty much dead even in the top lane right now. Mid lane is also going to be kind of an interesting thing right here, because Spoon on Xerath, his main goal is just to stop Vygar from farming, just to poke him down, try and force him out of lane as quick as possible, and actually a quick kill in the bot lane. Connor is going to find first blood right there onto Coach Denny. And Schwartz and Cardboard going in onto Wang right here could potentially be scary. We see some more starting to come on down. And that Cardboard might be just in a little bit too deep as he tries to escape, forced to flash over, but does get out in time to escape the E. Is home free.
Yeah, that's one of the scary parts, is that Vi can't really do a lot this early in the game. Doesn't have a lot of damage on a Mordekaiser, and especially Ornn. It's going to be scary. But one thing that I'd like to say is that Jin is so good with that extra kill. Like, bot lane is really what I was scared of. Like, if Misfortune could get ahead and get a good ult, I would be very terrified to see what that can do. But now that Jin's ahead, I'm not really worried about that. And I think that SNHU really shouldn't be as well. You just want to keep Jin ahead as much as possible. Oh, the miscue of the wall.
That's so sad. That's so sad. That's going to be an early kill for Wang, and he's going to start to find his way ahead. Schwartz stuck on a turret right here. Top lane is... it could be a little bit of an issue right now. S'mores and Wang, when they're together, are very oppressive, and it could be really hard to actually escape.
Yeah.
We're going to see Con Air get engaged on here. Could try and turn things on to Chromzu, but he's taking a lot of damage, trying to just escape in time.
He's able to get out, though.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Rarvane's out as well. No deaths down there in the bot lane, and that has been a kind of recurring theme throughout this entire set. Bot lane is just, no one dies.
And that wave is in a situation where... It's still pretty good. Oh, Cassante is going to be engaging right now. This is a bit scary. It doesn't actually go for anything big right there. Might have been able to get something if Ornn played a bit more aggressively into that. But Ornn doesn't have ult yet, so I wouldn't really feel confident. It looks like Spoon's just sitting in the cage.
Not much you can do in that situation, but he's right back out and immediately back to trying to poke at Ryan Knight here. Both teams dead even in terms of gold, 8.0k for SNHU. Now, I mean, both of them pretty much completely even here. Schwartz can be able to pull S'mores in, and we see him just slowly whittling down Ornn's health. Could be very dangerous if S'mores steps up just a little bit too far, especially with Ultimate now online for Schwartz. He's going to go ahead and recall, try and get full health back, try and buy some items here, and then he really has a big opportunity to try and engage on S'mores.
Yeah, that's going to be something big. It's going to be really scary for S'mores in the coming couple levels because Cassante is going to be really strong, and if you get poked down even that much, it's going to be a scary situation. The one good part about Cassante, though, especially if Ornn isn't confident in killing, is that you can't. Ornn doesn't have the ability to stay in lane and use the passive very well. You're going to have to back a lot as Ornn because if you're at half health, you're in kill range.
Yes.
And Ornn isn't able to really take usage of his passive.
You're going to see SNHU go ahead and start Mountain Drake. This is a pretty early Drake for this set right now. Spoon going to pick up a kill on Ryan Knight there in mid lane. That is exactly what you want to see from Xerath into Veigar. Picking up those early kills is going to allow him to establish even more of a lead in the mid lane, and that means Veigar is going to have an even harder time farming.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult on Veigar at all. And you are able to pick up that Mountain Drake, which I think is really good for SNHU's team. Yeah. Getting Cassante more tanky, and especially Vi, is really good. Especially Vi, who has a hard time into this matchup. But
Connor gets engaged on. He's just kind of walking away, though. He's going to take a good bit of damage. Will get stunned there. Has fourth shot ready. Forced to send it right into Coach Denny. But now the cardboard's here. They're going to go ahead and start the turn. As Denny goes down, Connor's going to find a kill of his own. That's two more for SNHU. Now 4-1. Wang's in the area, but not going to be able to do too much right now.
Yeah, that's honestly a great situation for SNHU. Being able to get kills onto the two scariest threats on the team. I'm not too worried about Ornn being a solo carry, but Misfortune and Veigar are the terrifying characters. That was a ambitious flash, I would say. That was ambitious.
He got a little bit of damage for it, I suppose. Something interesting as well is Wang is directly south of here. He is clearing Raptors for SNHU right now. Cardboard is in the area with him. Got to be scared of Death Realm right now, though.
Yeah, you have to be scared of Death Realm, but it feels like maybe Post is overextending a little bit too much. They show their position. They know exactly where they are, so Cassante can feel safe in topside, and the waves are pushed into every single position, so it's not like you're able to pick up an objective or really get anything here. Great Q coming out from Lux right there, and just getting a little bit of damage onto Leona. But yeah, not really much Mordekaiser could do off that, except for just take the Raptors, which isn't really that bad because they are basically on farm. Vi should be a little bit down right now, but other than that, it's fine.
Schwartz up here in the top lane, going to get a small opportunity for a little bit of damage there on S'mores. Wang around the bot side here. He has been in this area quite a while, but hasn't really found an opportunity to do too much. SNHU have been caught out overextending a few times here, which is a little bit scary. Denny's going to start to go in, and that's an opportunity for Wang. Might walk up, hit the E, not going to find anything. Does have Death Realm, but they're too close to the tower to really do too much.
Absolute amazing W. Great Q coming out. Maybe there is a kill here.
Not quite. Just barely not enough. But they were able to get some pretty big damage there onto Wang. Not able to find too much. Did spend Flash on Lux there for SNHU, which is a little bit of an issue. But so did Coach Denny. Just getting even more poke damage.
Yeah. Jhin is just so good into this team comp. Jhin is such a good option. I was thinking Ezreal was going to be picked, but Ezreal's kind of in a state where it's kind of what do you do as Ezreal? You poke, and you can't really get any big burst off. So I think Jin's really good, especially with Curtain Call, which is the ultimate. I think that's going to be very vital in this situation. It allows Jhin to be so far away from the team fight that you're not really scared of anything.
There goes all out. Schwartz forces S'mores to flash on out, but not going to find too much else off of that ultimate. Cardboard's in the area, gets spotted by that ward, though, and that means S'mores definitely knows that there is someone nearby.
Yeah, I would be really happy if I were Schmorz there, because you get out for free. That could have been a kill. That was honestly really scary. But the wave state isn't too bad for you. It allows SNHU to get Rift Herald, but as Schmorz's like lane state, it's pretty fine.
SNHU starting Rift Herald here. Wang is in the area.
Cassante ult is down.
Doesn't have vision, but will pop Scryers. Go ahead and get that. SNHU just need to get this low enough to... Oh, that was so scary for a second there. Wang almost finding a big opportunity there. Death Realm going to come out onto cardboard there. He is right on the edge. He's going to have to try and find a way to live here, but he did die with Rift Herald. He still has it, which he'll be able to use when he gets back up in 15 seconds. But now Spoon's in a weird spot. I would not feel comfortable as Xerath getting that close to Mordekaiser. I don't even want to see him on my screen.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It looks like they're just pressuring right now, but I would honestly take that trade. Getting Rift Herald for dying, you get, what, 500 gold off kill of Rift Herald? That's such a worth trade, and then you also get Tower and Temple off that. Yeah, that's probably worth like 2-3 kills.
It's definitely not a bad trade, but it's just worth noting that Post Eagles, I mean, they're not losing value even when SNHU do find something. Connor's got to be a little bit scared right now, but Coach Jenny's going to back off. That means no more engaged for them. Right now, both teams just kind of chilling, hanging out. 25 seconds left until Ocean Drake comes up.
Yeah, Ocean Drake seems pretty good on to Post's team, so I really want to pick that up if I were SNHU. Ocean Drake on Ornn is really scary, along with Veigar, who can actually, some new Veigar tech for you, you build Deadmans, and then you don't auto. So you get the constant movement speed stack, which is actually faster than Cosmic Drive, while giving you an insane amount of armor. So, yeah, I think that Veigar, at least in this game, being down, should probably build a bit tanky. You don't really need all that AP on Veigar. You're already going to get like 1,000 AP by the end of the game with tank items.
Oh, this could be a big gank as Denny comes in. Ryan going to land a cage right here, and this is such a long stun onto Spoon. He's going to try and escape into the river. Schwartz is here to try and bail him out. He's going to fly on in, put the guard up, but now he's in a weird spot. He's going to hit all out on Ryan here, going to be able to kill him off. And now Rarvane's in the mix of things. Xerath ult goes out, but it goes wide, and Rarvane very close to death will get taken out there by Wang. Schwartz finds another Curtain Call comes out as Chromzu and Wang right in the middle of things. Bullet time goes out, but not going to find too much. Curtain Call also going a little bit wide there, but we're going to see the shutdown from S'mores onto Spoon. SNHU backing out here. Both sides taking some losses, taking some wins. Pretty even still. SNHU have a slight gold lead.
I think that was actually directly even on kills. I might be counting wrong, but that wasn't too bad for SNHU. Losing a bit of tempo on Xerath is a bit bad, but getting 2 kills on Schwartz, absolutely amazing.
The big thing is they're going to lose this dragon.
Yeah. You're going to lose Dragon off this, but it's fine. It's okay. This is only the first Drake for Post, and it's not too bad. I honestly I'd be a bit scared of a couple Ocean Drakes on Post, but one's fine.
A little late on the timing there for that Lux ult. Not quite in the range to steal that. Ryanite trying to find something here. Cardboard going to be able to escape. Looks like we got a Cloud Soul this game. Who we feeling wants this more?
SNHU. 100%. Curtain Call, Lux ult. Lux ult's already at 50 seconds as is.
Lux ult gets a little stupid with Lux ult.
Gets a little dumb. 30 seconds Lux ult with 3 Cloud Drakes, or 2 Cloud Drakes. That's crazy. I think it on Veigar is fine. I think it's fine on...
Misfortune.
Actually, no, it is. It's kind of fine on all sides.
Definitely going to be a big contested objective right now. Both teams have objective control a decent amount, so
it's good on everyone.
Can be a big fight here. We're going to drop Rift Herald up in top lane. That's going to be to take down this turret. Pretty much outright here. S'mores is forced to fall back. Schwartz just trying to pad on some extra damage there, but finally, turret goes down. Rift Herald's still alive, and S'mores has to stay around and actually make sure that it does die. Does have to push up pretty far, though. Not quite.
Yeah. Oh, no. Lie.
It's going to be scary. We'll see. The Rams come out. S'mores not going to quite hit. Schwartz still alive, still in the bushes, still home free, but we could see Death Realm come out. I don't know if he really wants to do that on Cassante, though. Cassante is not the person I want to be 1v1ing this tank.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, especially with the items that Mordekaiser has. You only have you only have Rylai's, which isn't necessarily the best item. So yeah, I would be a bit scared to 1v1 Cassante there. But I'd like to mention as well, Veigar is down really heavily, which is exactly where you want this Veigar to be. You want this Veigar to be a purple smudge on the ground, because if they're not, they're terrifying later. However, they do only have single target CC, which is the one good thing. Yeah, but it is such a difficult situation to be in if Veigar's ahead. So I like to see that slow. Oh, Engage coming on bot lane. A W will come out. Coach Danny is in such a tough situation. Cardboard might be able to get this, but the blast cone probably did save Coach Danny's life right there. That was, had to use flash for that though. Looked like Vialt was spent. So
pretty scary to just go blindly over the wall there too. I do not blame him for not going in there.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was probably still worth for SNHU. Flash for Vialt, that cooldown wise, that's definitely worth it.
Chromzu and Denny are both here in the bot lane. A ward will spot out Cardboard and Rarvane being close by, so they're going to go ahead and get back underneath the turret. Not any objectives up anytime soon. SNHU did get the first turret here, but none of the other turrets are really in jeopardy right now. That said, SNHU's turrets are doing pretty good right now as well. We've got a little bit of a team fight breaking out in the bot lane right now. Denny's pretty low. Cardboard right in the middle of things. Connor's going to be able to finish off that kill. Bullet time coming out. Cardboard now trying to escape. It's going to be Ryan Knight who gets just picked off up in the mid lane here. Huge isolated Q. He's going to be able to take down Connor as Wang starts to make his way out. That is one dead for SNHU. They were able to take down 2 of Post Eagles.
Right now, it looks like SNHU is just trying to farm up. The only objective up is Rift Herald, but that's going to be going away in about a minute. So you might want to fight over that, but you could also leave it to just go away. You're in kind of a situation where you just want to farm. Mordekaiser getting to be a big threat, though, as having 4 kills. But same thing with Cassante and your Veigar. Your carries aren't really doing that well, so you have to hope that Mordekaiser can translate this lead to the rest of the team rather than just kind of hogging gold for themselves, which is the hope.
Looks like this is going to be a pretty free Rift Herald for Post Eagles right here. SNHU aren't really looking to contest this too much here, and this could really open up one of these lanes for them here, especially mid lane. If they take down that turret, that's going to be a really important priority to have.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely great for Veigar if you're able to do that. Veigar will be able to roam a lot more and be able to farm a bit safer. So that is the hope at least, but it's still... I'm not sure exactly how much benefit this Rift Herald provides. Obviously, getting kills is good, but I'm not exactly sure if that translates into enough of a gold for,
think about this, though. They can force a 50-50 on this. Dragon's up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's true,
They've got Rift Herald.
I didn't even think of that.
That is definitely a big option that they have. They can try and just put Rift Herald down somewhere else. And if SNHU don't want to contest the Rift Herald, that could very easily be a 2-turret charge. Chromzu in a weird spot. Curtain Call just barely going to clip him as he tries to escape. Cardboard finding that kill deep under turret. Coach Denny not quite able to find the kill he needs, and Spoon is able to finish him off as Cardboard comes right back around.
I'd take this 50-50. You can totally take Drag and also save this Rift Herald. Especially with Schwartz in bot side, this is going to be a 5v probably 2. Yeah, it looks like, there might be a kill on Xerath right now. Veigar ult is definitely in range. Barrier coming out. Amazing Q by Wang, just not being able to flash out from Spoon right there. Rift Herald is going to be down. It looks like Schwartz is moving to mid lane to try to stop this thing from crashing, which would be the hope. Just barely enough damage to be able to get it, and it looks like maybe Yang is in a tough situation. If a W from Jin could come out, that might be scary.
That was so important that they stopped Rift Herald from getting the second charge right there, and they got Dragon. They did lose their tier 1 turret in mid, but that is they've already taken a tier 1 of their own. They just got to worry about their top lane turret right now, and S'more is going to start to back out as he gets spotted out by that ward. Schwartz on the way back up. It's a very, very low turret, though. They really cannot abandon this lane any longer. Same with bot lane, too. This turret is getting down there.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation. Mordekaiser got another kill. I'd be a bit scared of this Mordekaiser, but as mentioned before, just translating that into an actual lead is going to be really hard. We're
tough.
Just barely able to miss that. Vi might be able to push them back into tower range. One tower shot coming out. That will be able to land that kill pretty easily. Flash from Cardboard, might die as well. That's so unfortunate.
Just so much damage coming out. Now Wang's coming through.
Yeah.
Rarvane, no clue. No vision, no wards, nothing. Does miss the Q, but unlikely to be able to escape too far. Just so sticky. Post Eagle's a really great situation for
Sarah's coming down. Sarah's coming down.
Is
Sarah's
awesome.
coming down.
We'll see. Can he hit it? Oh,
let's go.
Does.
That is American Sniper right there.
Absolutely.
You
given a salute to Spoon out there in the mid lane, shutting down the dangerous Chromzu.
Yeah,
before he can go
the dangerous criminal. But yeah, it's gonna be great pickup right there. Not letting Misfortune get ahead is exactly what you want to do, but as mentioned before, Mordekaiser is becoming scarier and scarier. Still, they haven't translated their lead to any other lane, so you're kind of in a tough situation if you can deal with the Mordekaiser, which probably Cassante can at this point. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tough situation.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Spoon just walks straight into Denny, and it's going to be forced to flash out of that.
Yang is in the area, so Denny's not going to die. Just barely didn't get that kill from SNHU, but they aren't really going to be able to get a lot off of this. Q coming out. Looks like there might be a fight coming out in mid lane. Cassante is bot side with Veigar, and Ornn was able to get a free tower top lane. Cardboard is in the area. Alt is up. All of Alts actually are up on SNHU's team. Oh, Denny is in a tough situation. Amazing play by Cassante right there, and a teleport coming out with no team support at all. You might see Ornn get taken down completely. MF Alt just barely misses.
I really wanted to see him pop the blast cone there, but he's not going to be able to. Schwartz is getting out. Cardboard out of there as well. S'mores just has no escape. Now Wang straight in the middle of the entire team. Cardboard's going to go back in, shred that armor. Conair finds the shutdown there. See Chromzu trying to re-engage here. Will be able to take down Cardboard, but not before losing his life and potentially his supports as well. Ryan Knight trying to escape, but SNHU just don't look like they have the movement to catch up in time. Or unless. Not quite.
However, that was a huge shutdown on Jhin. That was a large shutdown on SNHU's
Show me the gold. Show me the gold on this guy.
Yeah.
Show me Conair's wallet right now.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's actually lower?
He has not caught up to Chromzu yet. Chromzu's had a pretty strong game so far. That said, he definitely was behind Spoon in terms of money before that fight.
Yeah.
So that is Conair back in the #1 spot for SNHU.
I didn't expect that. Oh my god, but the gold difference in mid lane?
It is rough.
That is terrifying.
Is a staggering gold difference.
Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, I'd be very scared if I was Ryan Knight right now. And here's the thing, even if Ryan Knight does get ahead, it's not like you can do a lot.
No flash on Denny. All he can do is just try and walk away from this. And he just gets yanked right back. Ryan Knight's right here as well. This is not a spot that you want to be in right now. As he tries to escape. Veigar just can't quite get away. He's going to blow up. Wang and Chromzu show up. Cardboard's not going to be long for this world, but Schwartz is already right in the middle of things. Wang trying to fight, trying to stay alive. You got to worry about Chromzu, though. He's just laying in to SNHU's front line right now and chipping them away. It's going to be Rarvane down. As Wang finds that kill.
Ornn ult coming out, though. Such a scary situation for Schwartz to be in right now. Xerath does come out. Yang is just so powerful. You know, they are translating that lead, as mentioned before. It didn't look like they were really starting to. But yeah, that's scary. And the ornament on Jackshow is that's I'd be scared if I was SNHU with that Mordekaiser. And you really have to engage on a Chromzu. It's just so hard because you don't really have that backline dive without Vi. And Vi died so early in that fight that you can't do a lot, and they are going to be able to pick up a Cloud Drake, which is just going to make Mordekaiser ult more potent, along with Ornn ult.
Yeah, really good situation for Post Eagles right now. SNHU did come away with a little bit in that team fight. They found some big kills there as they continue to get their gold up. They do have a gold lead now, which is important. Post Eagles just have really great objective control right now. That's something to be worried about going forward here, especially as we get further into the game. These Drakes are becoming more and more important.
Yeah, it's honestly a scary situation to be in for SNHU because you don't have that Drake control, and any Drake from now on is soul point. Not soul point. which is something that you really want to get to pressure the other team into going into you. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tough situation because you see Misfortune actually pulling ahead. In these team fights, it seemed like Connor was doing a lot, but as the game gone on, you see Misfortune just last hitting after last hitting on everyone. So Misfortune is going to be a bit of a scary situation.
It is so scary to see how fast Wang is when he wants to be. He's got Ghost as well. That is a very scary big man.
Yeah, that's really terrifying to see a Mordekaiser running at you with ult up. And Vi is so far behind right now. You only have 2 items. It's going to be tough. Vi probably is better at like secondary engaging onto that Misfortune after the ult is called out. But yeah, I think that Jin's definitely really good into this game. It's just you gotta enable Jin. You gotta get Jin in a good place to actually do the work that they need to do. And Misfortune just has way more range in a lot of these situations because you see how much Mordekaiser's frontlining.
Short's going down to the bot lane over here, trying to zone out Ryan Knight at the moment. SNHU, they got to worry. I mean, Wang is still in the area over there, just kind of giving him a scare as he moves back up to top lane. The death ball from Post Eagles right now is very scary.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they're deathballing just yet. You know, you see Rhynite in the bottom, which is actually a good place to be. However, you also see Schwartz there. Schwartz can't necessarily do a lot in the game right now. They can't really kill Mordekaiser, and that's really the only one that they need to target. Cage coming out from Rhynite, though, but it's not going to stop Schwartz from taking that tower.
Little gathering from Post Eagles down here in the mid lane.
A little bit of a funny bush angle.
Having a little conversation in there. Wang gets caught out a little bit, but he has so much health that you can't really catch him out. Denny's trying to go in. He is able to go very deep. Chromzu picks up a kill. Bullet time goes out. That's going to take down Spoon, just Cardboard and Conair. And Schwartz now arriving on the scene. Post Eagles just going to try and back off there.
Yeah,
start to make their way up towards Baron.
I don't know. They could probably go for it, to be honest. They did waste a couple ults, but they still have Mordekaiser ult available and a TP coming out. It's not like SNHU can do a lot against Baron right now.
SNHU is just going to try and take this tier 2 in mid lane right now. That's the best value they see right now, and I don't think it's a bad call. Just trying to get as much lane priority as you can before they take Baron. They will be able to get that turret. Start to back out of there. Post Eagles just recalling, going back to pick up some items, going on a little shopping trip.
Drag's going to be up in a minute 40, and you really have to be prepared for that. Like, getting Drag right now is SNHU's #1 priority, and they really have to try to lock down this Misfortune to get that shutdown or get some type of pick beforehand. SNHU does have the ability to get picks. You know, Vi with Azereth following up has the ability to pick really anyone. You just got to hope that they can do it in enough time. Problem is, Baron is going to be putting so much pressure on SNHU that I don't know if they have the option to get picks.
That is going to be a big issue right now. And Baron is going to last until Dragon spawns, right? So they definitely have to worry about Post Eagles just saying, hey, you can have Dragon. We're going to take some turrets, because that is absolutely a feasible option for them right now. Short's just trying to frontline down in the jungle, not going to let Denny get too close, and that's very important. If Denny is able to engage, that is a green light for the rest of the team. But now Wang's in a little bit of a tough spot right now. As Cardboard goes in, this could be a kill. Shield comes out, but Cardboard is able to punch straight through it. Curtain call coming through. Chromzu just able to evade everything right now. Takes 2 shots there from Xerath. Cardboard not quite able to get close enough to really finish him off.
But they do have pressure for Dragon. They have Prio. Mordekaiser's dead for 30 seconds. It's not like they're going to be able to do a lot to stop this Dragon taking. And SNHU has so much damage on their team that they might be able to burst it down before Yang can get there.
We'll see. It could be difficult, especially as Post Eagles start to push their way forward. Denny could be just a little bit too far forward there. Fortunately, Luck's not landing that Q. Could be a problem. Schwartz right in the front of things. He's got to be very, very careful.
Vagar Cage, so 3 people. That's scary. And Ornalt comes out right onto Cardboard, but the ult will pull Moors all over the wall. And SNHU will be able to pick up a kill on Coach Danny with Jin. Amazing play right there. And that's exactly what you need. SNHU, though, is looking a little bit low, so they're going to have to pick up a lot more people to actually secure this Drake before Yang gets down there. Yang is up right now, making his way down, but you see SNHU not having the health to really fight this.
Oh, no,
they're going to have to back off.
He's got to get out of there. Death Realm will kill anyone right now, and he's going to be able to pull in Spoon, and he's not going to live too much longer. Chromzu pushing through is able to pick up that kill. Wang, Death Realm is so close to coming off cooldown right now, but they're so far into SNHU's base that it's just not quite worth it.
And Ornn's already on the Dragon. They are going to be able to pick this up and absolutely ravage SNHU's red side. It's going to be so difficult for SNHU to be able to do a lot. They really overextended their limits on that fight right there. They probably had to have turned the Dragon while Yang was dead, but they got poked down too much by Ornn and Chromzu.
And Chromzu is very quickly becoming a problem right now. SNHU just cannot survive the dive onto Chromzu right now, who's usually so far in the backline and usually just dancing around the edges of those threat circles, really able to just go in exactly when he needs to. He seems like just so obnoxious to actually try and lock down for SNHU right now.
And the one problem with the poke comp is if there is a lot of tanks on the team, because poke comps really have to play front to back. You cannot get on the back line. So you spend so much of your abilities, time, mana on dealing with those tanks like Wang that you just don't have anything for the back line, which is what is actually doing the most damage.
We'll see now. No objectives for a little bit. And just looking to control the map right now, which they are absolutely in a position to do so. Chromzu right now is 10-4. 700 gold shutdown. Big target on Post Eagles right now. And it's just really, really hard to lock down at the moment.
That is such a huge shutdown on Chromzu. Really going to have to look for a pick, but Chromzu's playing absolutely amazingly around their team. So it is so difficult to pick it up, and ornaments are coming through. Almost everyone has ornaments right now, and that just adds an extra layer of gold to the team. Probably like an extra 1,000 gold in general, just from ornaments. And yeah, it's going to be hard for SNHU to really engage this. They're going to just have to try to get Chromzu at some point, really get the backline, get the damage, which is Chromzu. They can't do damage without him. So
Coach Denny is very scary when he pushes this far forward here. SNHU have a tough time really just pushing him away. Wang is in a very scary spot right here. Just trying to hide. Just trying to sit back here, waiting for SNHU to push up on post in this jungle. They're trying to bait them so hard right now.
Yeah. SNHU isn't taking the bait, though, from what it seems like at the moment. Blast Cone back in. But it doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. They're really just trying to get a pick before Baron because they seem to be a bit scared of that Baron fight. And honestly, SNHU can probably turn the tides if it doesn't go their way. It's honestly a scary situation to be in. Oh, Wang is a little bit pushed up, but doesn't actually manage to get picked by NECC. Yeah, that's going to be tough for SNHU going into this Baron fight. Or wait, there isn't... Oh, I'm stupid. There isn't even Baron up.
It's up in 20 seconds, though, which it's definitely something these teams have to be considering right now. And it's probably what we're going to see a fight break out over as posts start to head up in that direction to try and reinforce this side of the jungle. We'll see if... Is this a real recall? Are they looking to head out? They are. SNHU don't know this yet, but...
Yeah, there's so many wards. Oh my god. Post is placing a lot, like having absolute dominance over Vision right now. It's just really hard for SNHU to do a lot to clear it out when you only have what it seems like to be one Oracle Lens. All of the wards are down. Chromzu actually looking really low right now. Zerathal just barely not... Curtain Call was able to get a lot of damage. Chromzu's going to have to back, and Yang seems like they're going to be out of position.
Going in on Rarvane, Wang not quite able to hit that Q, flashing across. A great juke, and Wang's just trying to leave. Cardboard going to harass just a little bit. Some big stuns coming through.
Yang's just so
largely
tanky.
Just chip damage. Yeah, it is so hard to kill him.
Yeah, Yang can probably take 3 victories, I'd say.
Probably.
That's a lot.
It has so much health. And if he has his shield up as well, that is just so tanky.
Yeah, especially with upgraded Jack-Show and Demonic Embrace, you're going to be so tanky. Ult coming out, but nothing really happening. Flash for flash, but Leona's ult is back up so quickly that that's probably worth it.
Post looking towards Baron right now, posturing towards this. They will get a little bit of vision from Scuttle right there. They know that they're doing it right now. But SNHU need to come up with an answer very quickly. This thing's taking a lot of damage right now. Schwartz is starting to make his way in.
So much damage so quickly. It's going to be such a scary situation. They're just going to be able to pick it up. It looks like Ornalt is going to come out right there. Schwartz was able to tank it. Great damage coming out onto Coach Danny, but Schwartz is just left all alone with Xerath poke. Was actually able to flash out, is able to get a couple Qs off. It looks like SNHU is doing a really good job kiting them. SNHU has way more health, but Schwartz is going to be able to go down. Amazing kill on Coach Danny right there from Xerath, and it looks like it's just a 4v4, and Dragon's up.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser has to back, though. I try to burst this down as quickly as I can, or really even going for a fight, considering...
No Mordekaiser, no Leona for this fight.
Yeah.
SNHU's down Cassante, but...
You have to fight now if you really want to do anything. You have to start Drake now.
The issue is, S'mores can just kind of walk up.
No,
Wang is already on the way.
No Ornalt, though. That's one good thing. Vi's really going to have to try to get a Q seal over this wall to try to get it, but nothing came out right there. It's so unfortunate. As mentioned before, we were kind of arguing back and forth as to what team does better with Cloud Drake. Both teams do really well, and it's really going to be scary on Post's team.
Right now, the gold lead is still very close, but Post is taking a lead quite a good bit, and especially with those ornaments, like you mentioned, there's a lot of gold that is not accounted for right here.
Yeah, definitely.
Cloud Soul as well. Things are going to start to wrap up very, very soon as we get on the timer. 5.5 minutes till Elder Drake spawns, and I would not be surprised if the game goes down to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's just so difficult when when Yang got so far ahead. You couldn't really do a lot because Orn's even and has more health. You know, it's so difficult, and SNHU just doesn't have the dive to be able to kill Chromzu. But Mordekaiser also does insane amounts of damage as well. They're a tank, but they do a lot too. And it's just so impossible to kill them, especially with the characters on SNHU's team. They're just buying LDR right now, but with the healing, with all the power that Mordekaiser has, it's going to be tough.
He's pretty much going to be able to sit up here in top lane and push the entire way all by himself. Or at least force the rest of SNHU to kind of leash over here. Cardboard cannot leave this lane alone, and that means that Poster's going to be able to run down the mid lane. That turret exploded.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage from Ornn right there. Ornn is going to E in. It looks like there might be a fight breaking out.
Wang just continuing to frontline as SNHU forced under turret right now. Wang right in the middle of everything, taking so much damage. He will go down. Schwartz finds that kill, but he gets taken out by the bullet time right now. As SNHU try and stay alive, they take down Coach Denny. Conair still alive, but Cardboard taken down. It's a double kill from Chromzu there, a triple kill as he finds Conair, and this could be the end of the game right here. As I start to push down Inhibitor turret, it's just Spoon versus the world. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Chromzu just got so far ahead that look at the damage to that tower.
It is crazy how much damage Misfortune is doing right now, and there's not much you can do in this situation, right? SNHU just had such a hard time really locking on that backline.
Yeah, that's just so unfortunate. There was really no ability to get on that backline with the team comp set up that way, and Mordekaiser just got so far ahead that you didn't have the ability to really engage on anyone. Yeah. Unfortunate for SNHU.
A hard-fought game overall, hard-fought set. All three of those games really coming right down to the wire. A lot of great comebacks, a lot of upsets, and a lot of those team fights. So really, overall, a fantastic set to come back from spring break with. I think that was a really great match.
I love seeing best of threes either way, even if the team loses, you know. It's very good to see really what each team's thinking about drafting. You know, we haven't seen Mordekaiser. We were a bit skeptical at first, but I think this showed why Mordekaiser might be a decent pick.
And it was Mordekaiser jungle, which is really something that we have not seen on.
Yeah, haven't seen that since season 11.
So it's definitely a lot of interesting plays there coming out from Post Eagles. Some really fun stuff that occurred tonight, and some really hard-fought games. Great job to Post Eagles for taking the set tonight. Really, really great play. Great job to SNHU White for putting on a great show for us tonight and giving that their all. That was an incredibly close and hard-fought match. But that's all for us tonight. We don't have any more games, unfortunately, so we're going to be wrapping things up. If you liked that and you want to see more, check out our Twitter at SNHU Esports. You'll find all sorts of clips, match updates, as well as any sort of events going on around the arena or in the community. You can find all that on our Twitter or at our Discord, which is also SNHU Esports. Discord.gg/SNHU Esports. That's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. We got Overwatch 2 tomorrow, so be sure to come in and check that out. But until then, enjoy the rest of your night.